Hello, everybody, and welcome to McKeon Park once again, the site of today's baseball game. It'll be Bourne versus Hyannis on a Friday night here in Hyannis, Massachusetts. I'm Chris Walker alongside Chris Lucy. We'll be your guys calling it for you tonight on a beautiful, beautiful Friday afternoon. And it's pregame. We got about 10 minutes until game time. And Chris, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Chris. It's a quintessential summer night out here in the Cape. We have Pack 54 of the Centerville Cub Scouts just out there down the third base line presenting the honor guard. And we have a good game ahead of us, too, with the Bourne Braves coming in atop the division.
And, Chris, if people notice that are watching, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks will wear their red jerseys today, and they wear their red jerseys on Fridays. And, Chris, you know more about it than I do, why they wear them.
Well, it's a nod to the troops just defending our country. It started during the joint campaigns in Iraq and Afghanistan in the early 2000s. Firefighters all throughout the Cape would wear red in solidarity with their brothers defending the Cape overseas, and it just bled over into the baseball realm of things. Of course, the Cape Cod League, so interwoven with the culture out here. The Harbor Hawks dived right in it and have been ever since.
So the players lining up on the field for a national anthem, and we'll take just a minute and pause for that on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and first pitch. Stay right here. And we're back inside the broadcast booth. You can hear Chris Lucy talking in the background a little as he stands up. So I'll just tell you about everything for now. So the Bourne Braves come into town 4-2. They play a lot of one-run games, as their broadcaster Justin Galanti told me, and they had a walk-off win last night. And They tend to have that one big inning every game, and that just propels them to a win. The pitching seems to keep them in it. They come in with a batting average of .239, which is not good, but a win-loss of 4-2 and an ERA of .276, and that is what's going to get it done for the Bourne Braves. For Hyannis, they come in with a .249 average and a .396 ERA, both pretty similar numbers. But with that, we'll bring you the fielding alignment for the Harbor Hawks, who are just about to take the field. In left field, it's Reese Hampton. In center, it's Jake Mangum, and Robert Newstrom's in right. From left to right in the infield, it's Micah Coffey making his return of the lineup. Ford Proctor at short, Hunter Stovall at second, and Ryan Olenek at first. Chris Proctor back behind the plate tonight for the Harbor Hawks, and he'll be catching Chris Lucy for M.D. Johnson out of Dallas Baptist. They were 42-17 this year. From Red Oak, Texas, the righty is 4.43 ERA on the season for them and a 6.2 record. He had good numbers.
He sure did, Chris, and he comes in a little bit later as the Harbor Hawks have lost several players to the Team USA baseball team, namely Riley Gillum, the big right-hander out of Clemson. So M.D. Johnson coming in just to be a fresh arm and an extra arm in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks rotation. So expect big things from him. Coming out of the Missouri Valley Conference, the only D1 program at Dallas Baptist University. 6-2 in 18 games pitched, 15 games started with 69 innings pitched, only 29 walks to 57 strikeouts. Chris, he offers a fastball, a curveball, and a changeup.
And he'll be facing this lineup for Bourne. It'll be Jamison Hanna leading it off and playing center. Richard Palacios will play left and hit second. Lyle Lynn hits third and plays first. Grant Witherspoon plays right field and hits cleanup. Andrew Freejay plays short and hits fifth. Turner Brown will bat sixth and play second base. Scott Schreiber is the DH and hits seventh. Zach Soucy's the catcher behind the plate, hitting eighth, and Jared Triola rounds it out, playing third and hitting ninth. And the Harbor Hawks have taken the field here at McKeon Park. And we're just about ready for action here on a Friday night. The clouds starting to come in a little bit. There is a threat of thunderstorms and a little bit of rain later, but hopefully we can escape that. I got to tell you, Chris, I like these red jerseys, though.
Indeed, yeah. And you have to like the reason the Harbor Hawks are wearing them. People forget often how good we have it in the U.S., where we have such brave men and women who go overseas and defend freedom and the rights that we have just to sit back and enjoy a baseball game. So awesome to see that the Harbor Hawks are cognizant of that and just giving a little salute to the troops. I think it goes a long way.
So, Chris, last night, things got started pretty well for Hyannis. They did go down 2-0, but they tied it right back up at the top of the third. It was a 2-2 game for quite a while. Then we were in Falmouth, and Falmouth broke the 2-2 tie to make it 3-2. And then the bottom of the eighth came, and that was when the game was over. 7 runs scored for Falmouth, and a just disastrous outing from Tristan Barlow. As his ERA right now is 108 after just going 1/3 of an inning and giving up 4 earned runs. I mean, that's what you want to avoid. You got to avoid the big inning, and that's something the Harbor Hawks definitely need to watch in this game, is the big inning.
It's concerning, like you said, the fact that Bourne can and is prone to having the big inning when they get their wins. And at the end of the day, you have to take it with a grain of salt that Barlow just came in. He was completely befuddled on the mound, at a complete loss for his control. You're not going to have a guy like Barlow, with the talent that he has, have an outing like that every time he gets out there. And honestly, that was such a bad outing. I doubt we're going to see anything quite like it for the rest of the season.
I would certainly hope so, with all the good numbers coming in that we talked about, and he was hyped, certainly on this team. And Chris Proctor will throw down in a second, and we're just about ready here in Hyannis for game number 9 already on the season. It feels like yesterday we were sitting here for game 1. We're almost 10 games into the season, and that's almost a quarter. That's almost a quarter of the season gone by already.
It rushes by, 45 regular season games out here in the Cape, and if you blink, you might miss them.
Bourne is 4-2. Hyannis is 3-4-1. Hyannis trying to get back to 500. And they'll have to do it against Jamison Hanna, who leads off against M.D. Johnson. Hanna hitting 182 this year. He's just 2 for his first 11. The abbreviated windup is how M.D. Johnson will start this game. Pitch number 1 on the way, and it's off the plate just a bit, and it's ball 1. That's how we start today from McKeon Park. Nice little crowd developing here. The 1-0 is in the dirt, ball 2. Messes up the fresh chalk down there. Good to see Chris Proctor back there. After not playing the past 2 games, Dom DiCaprio got a chance. Didn't have a hit in either game. Proctor was 3 for 3 against Chatham a couple days ago in his last start. That one's fouled off. It's 2-1 to the leadoff man, Hanna. And
it's good to see him taking the initiative to get to know M.D. Johnson out there on the mound. Johnson throwing his first game with the Harbor Hawks, and Proctor, one of the most sure-handed catchers in the CCBL, as we've seen.
So 2-1 the count to the leadoff man, Jamison Hanna. The righty deals. It's grounded towards first. Olenek had a tough hop but made the play and steps on first for the first out of the game. And that's how we begin. 3 unassisted, 1 away. Brings up Richard Palacios. Palacios goes to Towson University. He's hitting .250 this year. And he stands in the left-handed batter's box today. The righty Johnson looking for the sign from Proctor. Taking a long time up there. Now decides on one and deals a called strike one. It was a breaking ball right over the middle of the plate.
There's the curveball, Chris. You can get a lot of action on it coming from that high up.
He's ready for the 0-1 swing and a miss. Another curveball. That's a good looking pitch. 0-2.
Looks even tougher when you come in at 6'6".
Good up to down 12-6 movement on that pitch, excuse me. The 0-2, another one, bounces high up on the netting here off the dirt. That's how much spin was on that ball, and it's 1-2. It was hot today. It was hot outside today, and it's starting to cool off with the clouds, which is kind of relieving, although the clouds have kind of taken over and the sun is gone for now, which is easy on the player's eyes at least. The 1-2 is another breaking ball fouled toward the dugout of the Bourne Braves. So we'll do it 1-2. Johnson in the first few pitches has taken longer than pitchers that we've seen so far this year. 1-2, fastball low, it's 2-2.
He has a mean scowl too as he looks down from the mound, coming in at 6'6" with that scowl. Andy Pettit-esque. Certainly intimidating.
There's a guy throwing in the bullpen for Hyannis as this one bounces. It's 3-2. I would imagine whoever it is just throwing a bullpen session because it's the top of the first inning.
Most likely.
Three-two the count. Palacios has worked it full. And the righty deals. It's grounded. Sounds like a broken bat right to Olenek at first. He's going to step on it again. Another 3 unassisted. There's 2 away. Go ahead.
It's Ryan Weiss throwing out there in the bullpen.
So it is a bullpen session, more likely than not. It's not Weiss's turn to throw for the next couple of days. He's getting in some work. Felt like throwing maybe. Brings up Lyle Lynn. And what a story Lynn is. I'll let Chris Lucy tell you about him after the first pitch, because he brought it up to me first when we were doing our research for the game. First pitch to Lynn is a called strike one. It's 0-1.
No word on whether or not Lyle Lynn, coming out of Taipei, Taiwan, is the first Taiwanese player in the CCBL.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
But however, he was the first Taiwanese-born player to ever be selected in the MLB draft, going in the 16th round, 477th overall, to the Seattle Mariners last year.
That's huge. That's so cool that we're watching him play right now as he looks at an 0-2 pitch high. And this year, Chris, he's had a great year at Arizona State. He hit 364, or he's hitting 364 this year. But at Arizona State, he had 290, 61 hits, and 9 doubles. Breaking ball, strike 3. And that's how the first inning ends, a 1-2-3 inning for Johnson. He looks good, and we'll see how Hyannis starts with their bats in the bottom of the first. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back inside the booth. Chris Walker and Chris Lucy with you on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We're home tonight in Hyannis, Massachusetts. No score going to the bottom of the first between the Harbor Hawks and the Bourne Braves. The starting pitcher for Bourne is Brian Eichhorn, the 6'1", 225 righty out of Georgia Southern University. Chris Lucy has more on him.
Well, he's made his debut already in the Cape League, 2 2/3 innings against Chatham on June 15, a 4-3 win for the Bourne Braves. Struck out 5 in that outing, walked 1, and surrendered 1 hit. No earned runs, however, and was 3-5 in his college season at Georgia Southern. 70 strikeouts to only 21 walks in 68 2/3 innings pitched. So expect tight control from him and also a nice curveball.
Should be a good pitching matchup today, I think. And the first 3 batters of the game for Bourne all made outs, and that's a great sign for M.D. Johnson. Had that curveball working very well. So here's Jake Mangum. It'll be Mangum, Hampton, and Robinson to lead things off in the first inning. Mangum playing center field today, and Hampton playing left. And so the righty Eichhorn gets ready, and the first pitch is on the inside corner, strike 1. So Mangum has come right in and hit very well. He's hitting .429. He's 6 for 14. Right off the bat, 3 games, 6 hits. The 0-1 is high, 1-1.
What's really impressed me most about Mangum so far is the speed that he's shown, not only on the base paths, but in the outfield as well.
1-1 the count. Eichhorn deals its fouled straight back, 1-2. Mangum was on that pitch. And we can, instead of saying the white jerseys with orange and blue, we just say they're red jerseys with the white letters. And the blue helmets, though, and white pants for the Harbor Hawks. I will let Chris Lucy do Bourne's colors because I don't know what that is. As the 1-2 is grounded, a high bouncer right towards third. Triolo throws across, not in time. Infield single for Jake Mangum, and the leadoff man is on for Hyannis in the first.
That reeked of a single from the minute it bounced way high in the air because Mangum just has that kind of speed. He has the confidence as well to know he can beat out a hit like that. And honestly, Triolo was a dead duck the minute he had to pause on the lip of the grass at third base and look up to track where that ball was.
So that brings up Maurice Hampton. And Chris, you could talk about the colors now for Bourne.
Coming in with those dark blue jerseys, white lettering, white shoulders as well.
First pitch is grounded towards second. A high bounce, 1, and not in time for 2 as it goes all the way to the fence. They get the lead runner, Mangum, but nothing more as Hampton will reach on the fielder's choice. Anytime there's blue or purple, especially dark blue, I just leave it to Chris Lucy because it's just anybody's guess at that point.
It's true, and Bourne does have slightly difficult colors to describe, considering the white, it's not really on the shoulders as much as it is kind of up the side on the lats, kind of creeping in over the chest with a white Braves spelled out on the chest with red trim, also dark blue caps with red bills, gray pants as well.
Coach Chad Gassman wanted Hampton to get second base as it hit the camera over there, or the camera guy. This one from Daniel Robinson hit into center. It's a base hit. With 1 out, there are 2 aboard. Hampton goes to second on the single by the number 3 hitter in the DH, Daniel Robinson. I'll tell you what, Chris, Robinson, I was just going to tell you he was hitting great, and now he's got his 10th hit of the season already.
He's 4 for his last 5.
And here's Hunter Stovall. Stovall looking for his first hit. He's 0 for his first 7. Now would be a good time for that hit. He's known for his fielding, and he's also a great hitter.
Very slash and dash kind of guy, as he has some incendiary speed as well.
He's playing second base today. Eichhorn's first pitch is grounded towards shortstop. We'll see if they turn 2. It's a 2nd for 1 on the first double play. And with 1 out, again, The Harbor Hawks get grounded into a double play. That time it goes 6-4 to 3. And that's how we end the first inning. No score here in Hyannis. Braves and Harbor Hawks tied 0-0. We'll be right back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back inside the broadcast booth at McKeon Park. Chris Walker and Chris Lucy bringing you this one between Bourne and Hyannis. Hyannis not able to play the run. They grounded into their 12th double play of the season, though. And this time again with 2 on and 1 out. So we go to the top of the seventh. Not seventh. I'm getting ahead of myself here. The first pitch to Grant Witherspoon is upstairs for ball 1. It'll be Witherspoon, Andrew Freejay, and Turner Brown. The first 3. This one's grounded again at Olenek. Olenek's got a good workout already. He has three unassisteds in the first inning and a third, and that's the first out.
Good thing he's been on his toes.
3 ground balls that he's taken to the bag himself. It's been all him and Johnson. And there is Andrew Freejay, number 2, the shortstop. I wonder if that number for him has any significance, being that he's a shortstop. Probably does. Johnson ready, and the first pitch is grounded towards third. It gets over the head of Coffey, but it's fielded instead, not in time, by Proctor, and then he threw over to Olenek, who did a split on first base. It's an infield single for Freejay. That's the first base runner of the game for Bourne. That was very, very similar, Chris, to the hit by Mangum to lead off the game.
Seriously, it looked like just a routine play, but when you have speed like Freejay's or Mangum, you can stretch those into hits, even when Ryan Olenek at 6'5" almost stretches all the way out to steal a step away at first base.
It was in almost a full split at first base, and that brings up Turner Brown. Brown goes to East Carolina. He's hitting .235 on the season. Johnson is ready, so leading off first is Freejay. And the pitch is a swing and a miss at a breaking ball. The breaking pitch has really been there for Johnson early in this game.
Looking sharp, despite having maybe some first game jitters on the 2017 CCBL season.
0-1 the count on the 6-hitter Brown. In the dirt, good block by Proctor. And it's 1-1. Proctor's so good at blocking the ball. And he's so good at throwing down and catching runners.
He honestly is just a catcher through and through. When you get right down to it, I remember the first conversation I had with Proctor was just about changeups. He loves a deep changeup. He is a connoisseur of pitches. He really is just the consummate catcher.
They throw over to first to check on the runner, Freejay. Freejay does not have a stolen base. Witherspoon has 4. They throw back. Oh, that's close. But getting back just in time is Free J. I was going to say Witherspoon leads the team with 4 stolen bases.
Well, Free J had 14 this season down at Sam Houston.
Now that would explain why they're throwing over so much, and they do so again for the 3rd time in the at-bat.
Word travels fast down in Texas. A Dallas Baptist pitcher on the mound and Sam Houston down at first.
Runner goes. The pitch is low. The throw is not in time, and it gets past Proctor. So it's a stolen base for Free J. It's his first of the season, and the count is now 2-1 on Brown. There's a good reason they were throwing over, and Free J waited for the right pitch. One of our better-looking crowds of this season, I would say. The bleachers to our left down the third baseline are pretty close to full. A couple hundred people, I'd say, are here.
Just about. If only we could get them a better day.
Pitch is outside. I'll tell you what. I don't mind this because I know it's cloudy, but it was hot before and a little bit humid. It's like it cut the humidity out. I think it's nice, except the rain might come, and that would be a problem.
It would be, especially on McKeon in McKeon Park. Judy Scarifowl Field notorious for flooding, especially with the new infield down.
The 3-1 is low, ball 4, and there are 2 on and 1 out. Brown works the walk. It brings up Scott Schreiber, the DH. Schreiber hitting .400. He's only played in 1 game. He was 2 for 5 in that game. Did have a run batted in. Goes to Nebraska, Lincoln. So the first trouble that Johnson's had for the Harbor Hawks this season is this. It's 2 on and 1 out. I'm going to tell you who he resembles, in my opinion, after this pitch. And it's hit a long way out to left center field. Goodbye. Into the trees. A 3-run home run for Scott Schreiber. And it's 3-0 Bourne.
Home run number 1 of the year for Scott Schreiber.
Chris, that's what happens when you hang a curveball to a 2-time first team All Big Ten in both 2016 and this year in 2017. He had 7 home runs for the Cornhuskers this year, leading the team, and that's why he got drafted 769th overall by the Rays. He can really swing the bat.
And that was a no-doubter. That was as much of a no-doubter as I've seen this season. You just knew it right off the crack of the bat that it wasn't coming back. It went into the trees out in left center field, and it brings up the guy whose last name rhymes with yours, Zach Susi. Hits in the 8th spot, plays catcher tonight. He takes a pitch low.
Susi, Lucy, it works. It does work.
Hitting 111 on the young season. He goes to UConn. This one hit into right center. It's a base hit. And the hits keep coming. That's the 3rd hit of the inning for Bourne. And with 1 on, there is another man on base for the 9-hitter, Jared Triolo.
Number 15, Jared Triolo.
Rocky start now to this game for Hyannis. Again, getting behind. And one of the things I was looking forward to in this game was Hyannis getting out to a lead. And for the 2nd straight game, they give up the first runs.
Again, the big inning. Bourne is known to have it, and Hyannis over these past few games has been prone to give it up. 7 runs in the bottom of the 8th last night.
Triolo, the 9-hitter, steps in. He takes call strike 1. I feel like, and correct me if you think I'm wrong, that the pitching, when Johnson, after he's getting set, he looks just like Mariano Rivera. Watch after he takes this pitch. Well, he throws over now to first to check on Susi. But when he gets into his set, he looks just like Mo to me.
Yeah.
Must look up to Mo. The pitch is in the dirt, 1-1 now. I mean, it's a good guy to look up to and to emulate.
You're not wrong.
It's 1-1 on the 9-hitter Triolo. Triolo hitting .417 the series, 5 for 12. He goes to Houston. The 1-1, a check swing. Did he go? No, it's 2-1. And it's another slow start. I'm not saying the offense is off to a slow start, but they did have 2 on and 1 out and grounded into the double play in the first inning. A chance to open this one up. And they throw over again to check on Susie.
Chris, it is very interesting how vastly different MD Johnson looks throwing from the stretch.
2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And it's 2-2. When he's in the windup, he's spot on. I mean, he was great in the first inning in the windup in the first batter. And then he gave up the single, went into the stretch, and gave up another hit and then a home run.
And I mean, to illustrate it for our listeners, it's a difference in the stretch from Mariano Rivera to Andy Pettit in the windup, as I mentioned earlier.
2-2, check swing. Did he go? No, it's a full count. First base umpire took a long, hard look at that. So a full count to the 9-hitter Triolo. That doesn't mean he's a 9-hitter all the time. That's just where he's hitting. He's hitting great this year. Already has 1 double and 4 walks. They check on the runner again. Lennox gotten the best work out of anybody today. He's had 3 grounders come his way. And a bunch of throwovers. The payoff pitch, 1 away. Here it comes, swing and a miss. There's the curveball, and there are 2 outs. And the lineup will flip over again to Jamison Hanna, who's 0 for 1.
The next batter for the Braves, the center fielder from Dallas Baptist.
4 batters between the first out and the second out, Chris. That was a strikeout that Johnson needed badly.
All right, you give up 3 runs in between those outs and a base hit and a walk. Leadoff man is Hanna. Grounded out to first base as they check on the runner again, Susie. Susie does not have a stolen base this year. I should say this summer as the pitch is outside 1-0. Already 3 runs on 3 hits in the top of the second for Bourne as they lead 3-0 over the Harbor Hawks. Johnson is ready. And the 1-0 is in the dirt, 2-0. And Johnson will take a step off the mound to reset. The first inning vastly different from this inning. Johnson finding a lot of trouble here. Trouble finding the zone. Trouble keeping the ball in the park. 2-0 count. Pitch is inside. It gets away from Proctor, and going to second is Susie. And it's 3-0. Must have gotten crossed up.
And
pass ball.
They call it a pass ball, and you know, you almost feel for Proctor in that he's dealing with a new pitcher, and they get crossed up a little bit. There's a lot to keep track of when you have a 6'6" righty up there. Baseball not included. When you throw that in there, even tougher.
3-0 the count. Misses outside, ball 4, the second walk of the inning by Johnson. And with 2 outs, there are 2 aboard for Richard Palacios, who's 0 for 1.
The next batter for the Braves, the left fielder from Towson, number 1, Ricky Palacios.
Steps in, hops into the lefty batter's box. Johnson also does take a while to throw his pitches. Longer than anybody I've seen this year. Looks back, Susie on second base, and time called. He's very preoccupied with Susie.
he has a lot to be worried about right now. 2 runners on base, and he's been struggling to get outs since that 1-2-3 inning in the first.
Pitch number 1 on the way. Misses outside for a ball, 1-0. And Johnson can't find the zone anymore.
No.
Just can't find it.
And if he found it against Palacios, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Prone to striking out in his sophomore year at Towson.
The pitch is in there, called strike 1. That's a high strike, but he gets the benefit, does Johnson, so it's 1-1.
Palacios only 22 walks to 18 strikeouts this season at Towson.
That's outstanding when you have more walks than strikeouts. The pitch is outside, 2-1. And this is the 8th batter for Bourne this inning. And we're only in the 2nd. Very similar start to the last couple of games for this team. The 2-1 is grounded towards second. Stovall's got it, throws to Olenek at first, and that's it. But that's it, and it's a 3-run second inning. It's not like a scoreless inning. 3-run home run by Scott Schreiber gives Bourne the 3-0 lead after 1.5. We'll go to the bottom of the second. 3-0 Bourne on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Leading off the second inning for the Harbor Hawks.
Got to turn my mic on. Back inside the booth at McKeon Park, Chris Walker and Chris Lucy, bringing it to you live from our broadcast booth. Finally back at home. Micah Coffey will lead things off for Hyannis. They're down 3-0. Brian Eichhorn deals strike 1. And we were going over during the break who Hyannis has ready in the bullpen today, and it's not much. They got Christian Tripp, and they have Ethan Larison and Ricky Constant, and that's about it. The pitch is fouled off. 0-2. And we were talking about Ryan Weisswarming in the bullpen, and you said he was shaking his shoulder and, getting loose, so he might be called on to go a pretty good length here, and that might be what they need, the Harbor Hawks. The 0-2 is, that just missed off the outside corner. It's 1-2. That was close.
Very close, yeah. And Weiss, 2 appearances, 9 innings to his name. He has some length.
And he's out there again. The 1-2. Check swing. He went around. And Coach Gassman says, you got to check that. And he comes down to have a word with our home plate umpire. And the home plate umpire is giving it back to him. Coach Gassman is red hot down the third base line as there is one away. As Ryan Olenek will step in, playing first base today, and he's still giving it to him. It's Gassman. And that brings up the discussion again, how can you see as a home plate umpire if you went around? I don't know. The first pitch is outside.
Either way, home plate umpire Tom Mangier having none of it. Not afraid to fire a little bit back to Gassman up the third base line.
Olenek swings through that one. It's 1-1. It's interesting how Soucy was catching that ball. He had his right leg completely out on the ground. And Gassman talking to the third base umpire now.
Having a laugh with Jeff January.
Pitch is fouled off. It's 1-2 to Olenek. Ford Proctor will be next. Proctor going with the high socks today. He went with the long pants yesterday. Just something I remembered. I don't know how. 1-2 is grounded towards the middle and off the glove of Brown at second. It's a base hit. And going to second base is Olenek, slides in safely. He's so good at doing that. He's done it more than once. So it's a single, and probably it should be a double, no?
You'd think so, and that's just
It's a double. It's a double.
They give him the double. He deserves it. Heads up base running right there. The Bourne Braves caught sleeping just in a routine, and he takes off.
Well, they won't do that again. That's
No.
for sure. Well, the Braves is. Olenek did it last night. He did that in his at bat against Falmouth when in the ninth inning they were down, and he had an at bat and he got out to second base. You got to take chances. You're down 3-0 already, and why not? He can run, and he's not afraid. He's one of those character guys like we talk about all the time. So here's Ford Proctor. Proctor takes a called strike 1. 1 out, 1 on for Hyannis.
Proctor throwing off all superstition going with the High Sox today. He's riding a 3-game hit streak.
That's why I think I noticed it. But we'll see. The 0-1 is called strike 2 on the inside corner. Kind of froze Proctor, and it's 0-2. I feel like this is the kind of game that Chad Gassman might get thrown out of, because he's been barking at every pitch. That was close.
Well, better Gassman gets thrown out than his players. He knows that, and that's why he's so vocal.
Olenek tempting Eichhorn on the mound. He throws the 0-2. It's in the dirt, and Olenek thought about it, but goes back to second. It's 1-2. And you got to imagine that Gassman is frustrated as well. You know, his team is 3-4-1. Not the greatest start. Not as bad as last year's 0-7 start, but not a great start. And it's a group of guys that he knows can produce. They just haven't been.
He wouldn't have brought these guys out to the Cape if they couldn't produce. Just a matter of pushing the right buttons. He's doing his best.
It'll be a 1-2 to Proctor. Eichhorn deals. It's fouled off of Proctor's leg, and we'll do it again. Getting a little bit windy at McKeon Park now as the clouds get a bit thicker.
Hate to say it, Chris, it is looking a bit ominous.
We weren't worried about this really at all today. Tomorrow's the day when we thought it was going to rain. There was a slight chance of storms. The 1-2 runner goes. It's called strike 3. The throw is in time, and it's a strike him out, throw him out, double play, and that's how the inning ends. Again, a double play with a man on and 1 out. The 13th double play of the season that the Hawks have turned into. They trail 3-0 as we go to the third on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back inside our booth here at McKeon Park. Chris Walker and Chris Lucy bringing it to you live. The Hyannis Harborhawks trail the Bourne Braves 3-0 as we head to the top half of the third inning. It'll be 3, 4, and 5 for Bourne. Lynn Witherspoon and Free J. And it's Lyle Lynn leading it off. He struck out swinging in his first at-bat in the first. He'll face M.D. Johnson for the second time. The first pitch, it looks just like Pettit. It looks like a righty version of Pettit. It's called strike one is thrown.
And he must have been watching Yankees games growing up because his stretch looks like Mariano Rivera.
Breaking ball, 12-6 curveball, swing and a miss. Good pitch, and it's 0-2. He's definitely more effective from the windup.
Easily.
It'll be an 0-2. The pitch is fouled off down the right field line, and it goes out of play.
Keep that foul ball tonight. Thanks to our friends at Accidental Auto Insurance.
Still a nice crowd here in McKeon Park. I like it when a lot of people come to the games. It makes you feel cozy. 0-2 is grounded foul, third base line, and we'll do it again 0-2.
Nobody loves it more than the guys on the field. Some of them playing their day games on school days in empty stadiums. That's just a fact of the game. College baseball growing in popularity, however.
0-2. The pitch is in the dirt. It's 1-2 to Lynn. Lynn having a good year. 364 hitter before tonight's game. It's his second at bat in only the third inning. The 1-2 is a line drive, or a ground ball, right back at Johnson. I thought it just lined right at him, but he makes the underhand throw to first, and there's one away. Must have bounced right in front of home plate.
Fearless stab by Johnson right there.
Yeah, good grab, and that brings up Grant Witherspoon. I mentioned Witherspoon has 4 stolen bases. He's also 5 for his first 21 on the season. I mean, he grounded out to first to lead off the second in his first at-bat, and that was a big second for this Bourne Braves team. He scored 3 runs on the 3-run shot by Schreiber. First pitch is a check swing. He went around. And the players hate it when the home plate umpire, says that they went around. They always want to check. That time it was clear. This one is hit into center. It chases Mangum back, and it gets over his head and to the wall. Rounding second and going to third is Witherspoon, and he's standing at third with a triple. A one-out triple for Grant Witherspoon, and it's going to bring up Andrew Freejay with a man 90 feet away, and 1 out.
Gut check time for Johnson now. After he gave up his first base runner in the second, it was another 3 batters before he finally got another out, and Scott Schreiber took him deep in the meantime. So if Johnson can keep his cool on the mound, this will be a big step forward in this game for the Harborhawks, and a vote of confidence for Coach Gassman.
The infield will come in. At least Olenek will. The first pitch to Freejay is a ball low, 1-0. So the infield is a bit in. It's not all the way in. The 1-0 is in the dirt. Good stop by Proctor. It saved the run. But second and short are in. They're not playing halfway. They're playing in from that. And first base, Olenek is in, but not on the grass, and so is the third baseman, Coffey. And Coach Ron Polk has all different fielding arrangements, and this is just one of them. So Johnson with a 2-0 count deals low. It's 3-0 to Freejay, who started the rally last inning for Bourne with a single. 3-0 is outside and low, ball 4. He's walked him. That's the third walk of the outing for Johnson. And there are runners on the corners with 1 out for Turner Brown, and I don't like the way this is shaping up at all.
No, with runners on the corners, that is going to be right in the back of the head of MD Johnson. And when there's a lot going on in his head, things don't pan out too well, as we saw in the second.
MD Johnson is certainly struggling through this outing. They had a clean first, but things changed in the second, and things are getting going again in the third. The first pitch is low in the dirt, ball 1 to Turner Brown, who walked last inning.
And that's another thing with Johnson from the stretch. He just loses his command, and it's maybe because he has just so much going on in his stretch. He has to come all the way up from almost the ground. He takes a few stutter steps with that front foot.
The 1-0 bunt shown, but the pitch is low and in, and it's 2-0. He's really lost his command again. As soon as he gets out of that windup, and it's a totally different pitcher we're seeing. So we'll grab the weather forecast soon for everybody. Mostly for ourselves. The 2-0 is low, 3-0, and Proctor's going to go talk to him. He's thrown 7 balls in a row.
Definitely needs a little bit of a talking to, but as far as weather's concerned, very overcast and a little bit windy out here in Hyannis. Winds coming from southwest at about 15 miles per hour, but only a 30% chance of showers despite a thick set of clouds that have come over the field, and with the wind swirling, it looks a little ominous. However, be all right.
Showers won't end the game, per se, but if it starts to rain hard, there could be a rain delay. The 3-0, up and in, ball 4. He's walked the second straight batter, and Brown has gotten 2 free passes in this game. The bases are loaded with 1 out and nobody up in the bullpen. For the guy who you want up there the absolute least, in Scott Schreiber, who just last inning hit a 3-run home run, he has a chance to put this one away in the 3rd inning.
Deja vu all over it again, Chris, as we've known.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Johnson in a big jam. The pitch is a check swing. He went around. It's 0-1.
51 RBIs for Nebraska this year.
Good season.
He doesn't miss with men on base, as we've seen.
The 0-1. High breaking ball, but it's cut on and missed. And the eyes probably lit up. I couldn't see him of Schreiber, but they probably lit up at that high breaking pitch that just kind of hung up there, but too high for him, and he swings through it.
The swing like that, he might have had visions of that 3-run home run from the 2nd inning dancing around his head, too.
Oh, you got to think that's exactly what he's thinking right now. 0-2. Called strike 3 outside corner, and there are 2 away. Big out for Johnson.
To get it looking, too. Vote of confidence for his stuff, and with 2 away, he has a chance of putting the Braves to bed before anything more can be added onto their lead.
Susi will hit now. Susi is 1 for his first now. Well, 2 for his first 10, excuse me. He's hitting 200. 2 runs batted in, 2 walks. 4 strikeouts on the young year. The pitch is a breaking ball called strike 1. And the stuff is back a little bit, and you got to imagine that it feels good for Johnson right now that he's starting to find the zone. Still in the stretch with bases loaded, which is a bit interesting. 0-1 is a high breaking ball. 1-1 now. A lot of pitchers going to the windup with the bases loaded. I know when the few times I ever pitched, that's what I did. Because the bases were always loaded on me.
As I saw in our game of catch today, little control issues.
Oh, you're going to call me out now, are you? Okay. All right.
I mean, you brought it up, man.
Okay. 2-1 now as that was low.
Had a better arm than most I've played catch with, though. I'll give you that.
Thank you. Still recovering from a shoulder injury is myself. 2-1 is in the dirt. It's 3-1. It's one pitch away from walking in a run. Right now is Johnson. It doesn't matter how bad a control I have because the guy that matters is out of control, and that's Johnson. (3-1). Low in the dirt. He did not go around, and a run has been walked in. The third walk of the inning and the fifth of the game for Johnson, and it's now 4-0 Bourne.
The next batter is third base.
This is the second day in a row we've seen the Harbor Hawks walk a run in.
You know, that's just one of the things in baseball that gets me angry, walking in runs. It's so unnecessary. It's free bases. You can't be giving up free bases. The 9-hitter Triolo is back up for the second time in as many innings. He takes a pitch low. And still nobody up in the bullpen. Long time it takes for Johnson to get the sign. The 1-0. Up and away, the snap throw to first. It's not in time. Proctor with the good arm trying to catch Susie sleeping. But it's 2-0, and the bases remain loaded. As going back to the bullpen is the Hyannis pitching coach, finally to maybe get somebody up and warming because they need it. Guys start standing up and getting warmed up. The ball gets away from Proctor. Coming home is Free J, and he scores. And the count is 3-0. We'll see how they call that. It probably will be a wild pitch. But it is 5-0 in the third inning in favor of Bourne.
Well, hopefully now that there's just runners on second and third, we'll see Johnson go back into his windup because there's no hope of anybody advancing unless we have a very daring Turner Brown standing on third base trying to steal home.
They call it a passed ball. Pitch is in there for a strike. It's 3-1 to Triolo, but it's a tough pass ball. That's a hard play for Proctor to make for sure. 3-1 on the way. Swing and a miss. And it's 3-2. And if I were Triolo, if that were me, I would have taken that pitch no matter what and not given him anything. It must have looked good to him.
Curveball has a lot of bite to it when he can get it right.
Count is full. The pitch is low. Ball 4. That's the fourth walk of the inning for M.D. Johnson, and the bases are once again loaded with 2 away. Lineup turns over again. Jamison Hanna gets his third try in 3 innings, and that will bring up some arms in the bullpen, at least one. I can't tell who it is. I do know that it's not Nick Sandlin. That's all I can tell you because of the arm motion.
That would be Ethan Larison getting loose.
Hanna with his third at-bat. He's 0 for 1 with I can't believe I'm saying it. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a ground out. And it's only the third inning. The first pitch is grounded first base side foul. And it's 0-1. I mean, you're set up if you're Hanna to have 6 at-bats. That's a hitter's dream.
That's why you come out to this league, to get at-bats. So best case scenario for the Braves, but a nightmare for the Harbor Hawks as they just have struggled to get outs over the last 3 games now.
0-1 the count. Pitch from Johnson is outside, 1-1. And no help coming from the home plate umpire on those close ones.
Tom Magier calling a straight game.
1-1 the count. Only one hit this inning for Bourne. This one grounded towards second. This should do it, and it does. 4-3 on the ground out. 2 more runs score for Bourne in the top of the third, and already they lead 5-0 going to the bottom of the third on the Harbor Hawks digital network. We get to the bottom of the third. The Harbor Hawks down 5-0 to the Bourne Braves. Yes, you heard that right. It's only the bottom of the third. 5 runs on 4 hits for Bourne. 6 walks given up by M.D. Johnson as Robert Newstrom, Chris Proctor, and then Jake Mangum will have the at-bats, the first at-bats in this inning against Brian. Called strike 1 against Brian Eichhorn. 0-1 the count to Newstrom. And this is the first at-bat for Newstrom. The third at-bat's already, third time around in the order for the Bourne Braves. The 0-1 is a check swing foul out of play, third base side. Newstrom hitting .333 so far. He's 6 of 18 to start the season. He's had a good start.
Certainly has, coming in hot after one of the better seasons in program history for the University of Iowa.
The count is 0-2 on the 8-hitter Newstrom. Eichhorn deals high, way upstairs. And it's 1-2.
Newstrom, part of an Iowa team that won the Big Ten tournament and then shocked Houston in the opener of the NCAA Regionals.
The 1-2 was fouled. It was in on the hands of Newstrom, and we'll do it again 1-2.
Newstrom batting .310 for that team in his college season, a big part of something exciting building down at the University of Iowa.
One-two pitch from Eichhorn on the way. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Third strikeout for Eichhorn. That's the first out of the inning. Brings up Chris Proctor for the first time, who had been hitting very well. He's hitting .333. He had a 3-hit game against Chatham and hasn't played since.
He's made the most of his opportunities at the plate and behind the plate as well. So it's a good sign for Harbor Hawks fans to see him out there, but behind 5-0, they really need something from him.
First pitch to Proctor is fouled off third base side out of play, and it's 0-1. They need anybody, somebody, to start this back up because they already have themselves a huge hole, down 5 runs in just the bottom of the third. Not even 1/3 of the way through this game. 0-1 is high for a ball 1-1. It looked like the curve. I wonder if we'll see Larison next inning for the Harbor Hawks.
He's getting loose in the bullpen.
The 1-1 is fouled back towards us over our booth and out of play. 1-2.
Christian Tripp also standing up out in the pen. Just took a seat down, however.
Those two usually come in a package.
Yeah. Very effective package for the Harbor Hawks so far this year.
When they have leads, they usually pitch. The 1-2 is fouled back, and we'll do it again. Second 1-2 count in a row. 3 strikeouts in the last 4 batters for Eichhorn.
He's had no trouble getting outs today.
Not at all. Time called. He's had a very easy day. He did give up 2 hits, but the Harbor Hawks in each of the first 2 innings have had a double play turned on them to end the inning, with men on in scoring position and 1 out.
Double plays have really been the Achilles heel of this Harbor Hawks team so far.
1-2 pitches inside, and it's 2-2 to Proctor. See his first at bat in a couple of days since Chatham. So here's the 2-2 to the 9-hitter. It's grounded towards second. Brown has it, throws on the first in time, 2 away. Lineup turns back over for Mangum.
One for one on the day.
I would say they need another hit, but there are already 2 outs. A good friend John is right next to us now from downstairs. Tell you what, he makes a great omelet at the gourmet brunch.
Oh, without a doubt.
This one foul tipped into the glove of Susie. It's 0-1. And he makes great food downstairs at our concession stand. Back this year, everybody's happy. He's happy too. I'm happy. As the count is 1-1 as that one misses in the dirt. I'd also be happy if the Harbor Hawks started scoring some runs. 1-1 is swung on and missed. It's 1-2 to the number 1 hitter.
Literally number 1. Wears the number 1 jersey, too.
And he's 1 for 1. A lot of ones. But this is 1-2. Eichhorn ready. Takes his time and deals. It's grounded towards short. Tough hop. It gets through. Free J had it go over his glove. And it's a 2-out hit for Mangum. We'll see how they scored. I would imagine that's a base hit.
It seemed like Mangum was getting there either way, considering the fact Free J had to range up the middle and Mangum with blazing speed, as we've mentioned.
It is a base hit for the leadoff hitter. He's 2 for 2. He has really been on fire since getting to the Cape.
For sure. Carrying it over from a great collegiate season down at Mississippi State.
And here is Reese Hampton, who grounded into a fielder's choice in the first. First pitch is right down the middle, called strike 1. And I'll figure out his current numbers. He was 429 before this game, but now he's 8 for 16. Well, he's 500. There you go. He's 8 for 16. Pitch is low, 1-1. And that's not 1 for 2, 500. He's been on this team for a few days, for a few games. That's impressive.
Seriously. already making himself a case for the All-Star game.
Oh, absolutely. Hitting 500 here in his now 4th game. 1-1 count to Hampton. The pitch is low, 2-1.
You mentioned the CCBL All-Star game. We're minus 1 day, a month away from the CCBL game, All-Star game, Saturday, July 22nd, down at Wareham.
And by that time, the season will almost be over. The regular season, at least. It's crazy how fast it goes. The 2-1 is a breaking ball called strike 2. Count is even, 2-2.
You're right, Chris. Regular season ends and the playoffs begin on August 5th.
Hopefully we're still here on August 5th. Not if this continues, though. 2-2 count to Hampton. Eichhorn in the stretch. Runner goes. The pitch is in the dirt. He's going to get there. Is Mangum. He's got a stolen base. That was stolen on the pitcher. The throw would not have even been in time.
No, Mangum almost anticipating the throw, getting into a slide where he could get back to his feet pretty quick.
Mangum, sorry, go ahead.
Anticipating possibly a wild throw into the outfield.
Already 3 stolen bases in 4 games for Mangum. He's really lit it up all over the stat sheet. The count is full to Reese Hampton, who takes the 2 spot today hitting. 3-2 pitch is hit towards left. And the play is made by Palacios to stop any runs from scoring. It's still 5-0 Bourne here on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We'll be right back with the top of the 4th. Looking ugly already, though, in Hyannis. Don't go anywhere. Chris Lucy will be the next voice you hear talking about Cape Cod Healthcare.
What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on Cape Cod to help the lives of your friends, family, and neighbors. Learn more about donating blood, platelets, or hosting a blood drive at capecodhealth.org/blood center. Cape Cod Healthcare, an official sponsor of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the 2017 CCBL season.
So in the 4th, Palacios will lead it off against M.D. Johnson. He takes a called strike. Johnson has faced, now let's see, 19 batters in 3 innings. This one grounded towards second, and a diving stop made by Stovall. Throws on in time. What a play by Hunter Stovall to save a base hit. And there's one away.
A 4-3 never looked so good, Chris. Hunter Stovall diving, saving it from the outfield, and then from one knee, just rocking it down to Ryan Olenek.
That's as advertised. That's what he's here for playing second base. He's a great infielder, and that brings up Lyle Lynn, who's 0 for 2. Batter number 21 for Johnson. He pops it up. Oh, he popped it up a mile high. Over is Proctor, the shortstop, and he makes a play, and quickly 2 outs.
Johnson settling in nicely after 2 tumultuous innings.
Well, it's safe to say Ryan Weiss won't be pitching today because he's now down in the stands giving raffle tickets to fans.
He was warming in the bullpen earlier. Likely, as you said, just getting some work in.
I wouldn't imagine you'd want to waste an appearance on a relief appearance in a 5-0 game. So a good idea just to get that the work in. As it's 0-1 to Grant Witherspoon, who had a triple last inning and scored. It's 1-1 now as that pitch misses low. In the windup, the 1-1 is a breaking ball called. Strike 2. And Johnson's one pitch away from a 1-2-3 fourth.
He's only had to pitch from the windup so far in this inning, which would probably explain why he looks so comfortable out there.
The 1-2 is grounded through the hole between short and third. It's a 2-out hit for Witherspoon. He's got 2 hits in 3 innings. Well, 4 innings, but he's hit in 3 innings. He's 2 for 3, though. Brings up Andrew Freejay with 2 outs. And you can already say for some of these guys, like Witherspoon, he's had a great day. He's 2 for 3. It's only the 4th inning. It's a solid day for 9 innings.
That's true, and the way the Braves have been hitting today, you'd imagine 5-0 already. They may as well pack it up.
First pitch is a breaking ball low, and he did not go around, did Freejay. It's 1-0. Freejay's 1 for 1, walked, singled, scored 2 times, 2nd and 3rd inning. Johnson ready. 1-0, runner goes. The pitch is swung and a miss. The throw from Proctor is not in time. A stolen base for Witherspoon. Witherspoon now has 5 steals on the season, and the pitch was a called strike, so it's 1-1. Swinging strike, excuse me. .709, we're only in the 4th inning. Tells you how this game's been going. The 1-1 misses low. It's very interesting how different Johnson pitches from in the stretch, how much less control he has.
There's just so many more moving parts to his motion in the stretch. It almost goes against the meaning, like the reason people pitch from the stretch, because he has so many more moving parts. Usually you just try to streamline your delivery in the stretch to keep base runners honest, but it's almost as if he moves even more on the mound when he's going from the stretch rather than the windup.
2-1 count to Freejay. And the pitch is in the dirt. It's 3-1 to the 5-hitter who's been on base in all 2 of his at-bats. There are 2 outs here in the top of the 4th. This is the longest since the games that I've done in the first half. This is the longest one I can remember that I've done. Usually it's quick. The 3-1 swing and a miss. The count is full.
We have you earning your dinner tonight.
I know, I'm used to being done in an hour. It's already been an hour and 10 minutes, and I still have another inning and a third.
Hope you save some of this game for me.
I know. 3-2 is in the dirt, ball 4. I hope that they come back when you start. You know, maybe switch it up, you know.
We'll see if I can be a good luck charm. However, that walk to Freejay, the 7th walk of the game.
That looks like it's going to be it for Johnson. As right after the first 2 outs were recorded, a single from Witherspoon and then a walk. Clearly indicative of the difference between the windup and the stretch for Johnson. And Gassman is talking still. No call. Now the call is made, and they'll bring in the reliever. Well, that's a rough exit, a rough first start for Johnson. We'll tell you about his start, and we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. The new pitcher for the Harbor Hawks is Ethan Larison, and Chris Lucy is here to tell you about Larison.
Larison, a right-hander out of Indiana State University, going into his senior year. 6'2", 205 pounds. He's already appeared 3 times for the Harbor Hawks, most recently against the Chatham A's, pitched an inning and a third with only 1 hit ball against the Chatham A's in that 5-3 win. Full line on the season, 3.85 ERA in 4 2/3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts to his name.
The final line is not completely finished on Johnson. The 2 runners on base now are his responsibility, but for the time being, 3 2/3, 4 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 7 walks, 3 strikeouts.
A long day for Johnson, and despite that strong start he got out to, Bourne just able to expose his weaknesses when he got into the stretch rather than the windup and lost his control, just waiting on pitches to hit, and when they weren't getting pitches to hit, there were more likely balls, because 7 walks on the day says a lot about how MB Johnson performed in his CCBL debut here in 2017.
So here's Turner Brown. Brown takes a pitch low in the dirt. He's walked both times he's been at bat. It's 1-0 here. He scored in the second. One-0 the count. Larison in the stretch. In the dirt again. Nice pick by Proctor, and it's 2-0. Larison usually used later in the ball game, Chris, but you got to get him work. He's a fresh arm. Pitch is grounded foul first base side towards the first base coach of Bourne. And it's 2-1.
Exactly. That game against Chatham was June 20th, so 3 days between then and now. And he was pitching back-to-back days between June 19th and 20th as he got some work at Wareham in the 6-2 win as well.
Larison waiting for Proctor's sign, gets it. 2 on, 2 out. 2-1 count here. Broken bat, it flies right past Larison. He gets the ball and flips over to first in time. Dangerous play there with the bat, the entirety of the bat nearly flying at Larison, but they get out of the inning without allowing a run at the end of 3.5. It's 5-0 Bourne over Hyannis on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Back on the Harbor Hawks. Two 1 now. 5 runs on 5 hits for Bourne. No runs on 4 hits for Hyannis. It's all about when you get them. Bunt shown. He pulled it back. It's 3-1. And it also matters how many walks you have given up. And 7 for the Harbor Hawks.
That's why it's been a long one. Only 4 deep into this game. It's 7-19.
The pitch is fouled off over the net, and it's a full count. And what happens is it just disappoints all the players, and they get discouraged when you're down so early in a game by so many runs. It slows the game way down, and then guys get frustrated even more. Pitch is grounded towards second. Getting there as Brown throws on in time the first 2 away. 2 ground outs to start this inning for Micah Coffey now, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the second.
Third baseman for the University of Minnesota, number 12, Micah Coffey.
Stovall still looking for that first hit of the CCBL season.
Yes, Stovall now 0 for 8. Or excuse me, now 0 for 9. The first pitch to Coffey is popped up. It's popped up in the shallow center, coming on as the center fielder, Hannah, to make the play. I didn't know who was going to get that. And it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the 4th for Hyannis. They don't get anything going, and we go to the top of the 5th. 5-0 Bourne on the Harbor Hawks digital network. Welcome back with us. Chris Walker, Chris Lucy getting ready for the top of the 5th. The Bourne Braves have a 5-0 lead over the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And Ethan Larison back out there for the 5th inning. He had to get the final out of the 4th inning. It'll be Schreiber, Susi, and Triolo. And they've all done enough damage. Triolo doesn't have a hit, but he has a walk. Susi has a hit and a walk, and Schreiber has a 3-run home run. And that's how we will start this inning. It's always good when your 7-hitter can hit a 3-run home run at any given time. The first pitch from Larison's low and away, 1-0.
Good when your 7-hitter's a big-time pro prospect. Raised draft pick, as we mentioned earlier.
1-0 from Larison is swung on and missed, and it's 1-1.
I don't know if that breeze is coming from right field or from Schreiber's bat. Big hacking. Big guy at the plate, 6'3", 245.
Looks like a football player. Pitch is low and in, and it's 2-1. Control has been a problem over the last 3 games for this team, and it continues tonight. 7 walks given up by this pitching staff, and it was M.D. Johnson who walked 7 in just 3 2/3. The 2-1 is popped up way up there, and calling off everybody is Stovall. Olenek initially called it, but Stovall had a better position, and there's one out. Brings up Zach Susi, who is 1 for 1 with a walk and a single. He grew up in Southington, Connecticut, which is about an hour from my house in Danbury.
A little bit farther from me in Greenwich, but in state.
This one grounded towards first. Olenek got it. He'll take it himself. And they're a two-way. Good start for Larison.
Olenek finally getting some more work too. Had a pair of 3 U's in the first inning.
To the fourth 3U for Olenek in this game. Jared Triolo will step in. He's 0 for 1, a strikeout and a walk. He's filled out the right side of his stat sheet pretty well today. First pitch from Larison is a called strike 1. Should Triolo get on, Jamison Hanna will have his 4th at bat in 5 innings. Oh, 1 on the way from Larison, and it is, oh, that just missed. Must have been a little bit low. It's 1-1.
Larison's control lacking a little bit, but still getting outs, which is a good thing.
1-1 is grounded towards third. Coffey boots it. E5, and reaching on the error is Triolo. And that is frustrating.
It is, and Coffey doing his best to smile it off, but you lose a ball on the transition from glove to your throwing hand. You have to do better than that. And, you know, it's tough when the Harbor Hawks have just been struggling to get outs and you lose one down in the hot corner, which could have ended the inning.
Jamison Hanna does get his 4th at bat in 5 innings. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. Larison deals. It's fouled off third base side into the bullpen of the Harbor Hawks. It's 0-1. Palacios would be next. He is 0 for 3. In fact, the top third of this order does not have a hit. They are 0 for 8. But still, Bourne leads 5-0. 0-1 count. Grounded back towards Larison. He flips to first in time. So no runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Chris Lucy will take over for me. And that is it for me on play-by-play. Hopefully Chris Lucy can bring them some luck. It's 5-0 Bourne here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy joining you in the broadcast booth. It's been a long one down here in Hyannis. 7:30, we're only through 5 innings as my color partner Matt Alberghini joins me. Hyannis down 5-0 against the visiting Bourne Braves. Eastern Division matchup, Western Division matchup. Here's Ryan Olenek at the plate. 1 for 1 on the day with a double, and he skies one out into right field. Tracking Witherspoon back to the wall. He sticks up his glove and makes the play as he bounces off of a sign on the wall in right field. One away.
Great catch out there in right. Olenek really got a hold of that one.
Certainly did. Ryan Olenek with 2 loud hits today, a double in the second, and then that F9 to get things started here in the bottom of the 5th. Brings up Ford Proctor, who's 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. Lights starting to come on here down on Judy Scarafile Field at McKeon Park. Everyone playing straight away in the infield and outfield. And the first pitch is slipped foul behind home plate, kicking off the backstop. 0-1 count on Proctor. Stands in the left-handed batter's box against the righty on the hill. That being Ihorn in his 5th inning of work. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball, called strike 2. Nice curve from Ihorn. Puts Ford Proctor in a hole. Here's the 0-2. Low and away, just missing the outside corner. Matt, home plate umpire, really calling it with a tight strike zone today.
Yeah, that was a good look by Proctor.
Now he stands in a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Hit on the ground, right side. Brown gobbles it up and throws over to first for the 2nd out of the inning.
Man, that right side of the infield's really getting a work in today for both teams.
Yeah, exactly. Ryan Olenek down at first for the Harbor Hawks already with a couple of 3 U's. 4 to be exact, and now here comes Robert Newstrom. The right fielder 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout in the bottom of the 3rd. There's 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Hyannis down 5-0 to Bourne. Righty on the mound, lefty at the plate. The first pitch.
Oh.
Set high in the air out in right field. That tracks Witherspoon all the way to the wall, and it is way gone.
What a shot.
First home run of the season for the Harbor Hawks, and that breaks the scoreless curse for Hyannis in this game. It's 5-1 Bourne.
And you want to talk about barreling up the baseball. I mean, he got that one right on the sweet spot. You knew it was gone the second it hit the bat.
And that sound, you had a feeling too. A gorgeous hit for Newstrom. The knock he was looking for. Now he's 1 for 2 on the day, and it brings up Chris Proctor as all of the Harbor Hawks are out of the dugout to give Newstrom a little bit of love and finally inject some life into this game, which has been a bit of a dull one.
Finally, on the board for Hyannis.
And Proctor takes the first pitch ball low and away. He stands in the lefty batter's box. The righty Ihorn still out there. The 1-0. Over the heart of the plate, but low. Count 2-0. Ihorn at the set. Gets the sign from Susie and deals. Proctor skies it out to center. Hannah takes 1 step back, but eventually charges in and makes the play for the final out of the inning.
Yeah, he got sawed off a little bit there, but really was able to fist it out pretty far into center field. Shows you what kind of power he does have.
Chris Proctor, however, going down for 0-2 on the day as of now, and almost a 1-2-3 inning for the Braves, but one loud hit from Robert Newstrom is a home run that finally put the Harbor Hawks on the board. 5-1 now going into the top of the 6th. Palacios, Lynn, and Witherspoon due up in the 2, 3, and 4 spots for the Harbor Hawks for the Braves when we get back here on the Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around. We're back here from McKeon Park. Chris Lucy joined by Matt Alberghini. Top of the 6th inning here on Judy Scarafile Field. Hyannis down 5-1 against the visiting Bourne Braves. Western Division matchup here. Ethan Larison back out for his 2nd inning of work.
Yeah, he's really looked strong, giving the Hawks a chance to battle back into this ball game so far.
And now he comes to the set. He faces up with Richard Palacios, deals ball 1 high and away. The righty getting to work against the lefty. 1-0 count, nobody on base. Just underway here in the top of the 6th. Larison deals. Pitch that's grounded up the middle. Hunter Stovall ranging towards the hole, firing across his body to Ryan Olenek for the first out of the inning.
What a night for Stovall at second base. He had that ranging play earlier on his glove side, and then this one the opposite direction, gathering, throwing, making the play just in time to get the out.
A ball player through and through. Stovall, no stranger to second base, right field, center field, left field, or shortstop. Played a little bit of catcher back in high school as well.
Ultimate utility man there.
Some real athleticism from Stovall, and now Lyle Lynn steps in the right-handed batter's box. The righty Larison deals. Breaking ball low and away. Count 1-0. Stovall and Ford Proctor just on the lip of the outfield grass up the middle. Ryan Olenek playing back down at first, too. Ball 2 is low and away. Another breaking ball missing from Larison. Hyannis down 5-1 here in the top of the 6th against the Bourne Braves. Larison to the set. Lynn wiggling his bat in the righty batter's box. The pitch. Fisted foul out of play down first base side.
Remember, fans, thanks to our friends at Accidental Auto Insurance, you can keep that foul ball tonight.
2-1 count on Lynn. The first Taiwanese player ever drafted in the major leagues. However, he opted to go back to school after finishing things up at J. Sarah Catholic High School down in California. He's at Arizona State, and he grounds one up the middle. Ford Proctor ranging up and firing on the run to get out number 2.
God, what a beautiful play. Charging in, running through the baseball, making that strong throw to first.
Middle infielders for the Harbor Hawks making it look easy out there tonight.
Yeah, they really do look sharp.
They've gotten Ethan Larison 2 outs in this inning and bring up Grant Witherspoon. Right fielder, 2 for 3 on the day. The righty squares up the lefty in the first pitch. Low and inside. Count 1-0. Overcast day here at McKeon Park. Lights are coming on. No sign of sun behind a thick cloud coverage. The 1-0. Low and away. Count now 2-0. Larison taking his time out on the mound. Rocking some blue stirrups. Indiana State colors there, his alma mater. Likely brought him from his college season. The 2-0. Outside, now 3-0. Stirrups contrasting nicely with the red jersey. Not the Harbor Hawks' usual uniform, but on Fridays they honor the troops with Red Jersey Day.
Gotta love that.
Seriously. The 3-0. Inside, ball 4. Larison surrenders his first base runner of the inning, and it brings up Andrew Freejay, the shortstop out of Sam Houston. He'll come up with a runner on first base. And Freejay, 1 for 1 on the day with a pair of walks. He already has a trio of at-bats in only the 6th inning, this being his 4th at-bat. Just shows what kind of day it's been for the Harbor Hawks, down 5-1 against Bourne.
Well, we'll see how he fares against Larison.
He stands in the righty's batter's box against the righty. First pitch, blown away. Count 1-0. Witherspoon taking a very healthy lead off of first. Already with 4 stolen bases on the CCBL season is Witherspoon. Larison looks him back. Olenek holding him on at first. And draws a throw, and just barely missing the tag is Olenek. It looks like they almost had Witherspoon there for out number 3.
Yeah, that was a bang-bang play, and instead of just sweeping that glove down, it looked like he picked it up and tried to place it on the hand. Missed him.
Just barely. Count 1-0 on Free J, still awaiting pitch number 2. Larison comes to the set. And then throws right back down to first. Olenek fielding that one on a hop.
Yeah, better motion that time by Olenek, but just ball didn't get there in time.
No, nifty play keeping that one from getting away from him too. Smooth hands over there by Olenek. Larison still looking back, Witherspoon at first. However, now he deals the 1-0. High in sight on Free J, who arches his back out of the way of the pitch, takes the 2-0. Wind coming in from the southwest, about 16 miles per hour, as I mentioned earlier. Nothing the Harbor Hawks are not used to. Now the 2-0. Swing and a miss. Andrew Free J creating a gust of his own on that swing.
Yeah, you got to wonder what he was thinking there. It's a 2-0 pitch. That ball looked high and away. Got to go up there with a plan.
Maybe taking a little bit of liberty with the hitter's count. Still has one at 2-1. Runner on first base, 2 away here in the top of the 6th. Hyannis down 5-1, however. And Larison throws back to first, and they have the runner Witherspoon caught in a pickle. And the throw down to second to Proctor is in time to get the right fielder for the final out of the inning. So Larison had that pickoff move on his mind, and for a good reason. It gets him a 1-2-3 inning, essentially. Andrew Free J will come up to start things in the 7th. But in the meantime, the Harbor Hawks come up again with the top of their order in the bottom half of the 6th. Jake Mangum, Reese Hampton, and Daniel Robinson, the 1-2-3 when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Matt Alberghini over to my left. I'm Chris Lucy. Hyannis down 5-1, but A new pitcher coming on for the Bourne Braves.
#1
He replaces Brian Eichhorn, and it's Luis Alvarado. Coming out of Nebraska, he's a two-way player. Was drafted by the Seattle Mariners this year at 393 overall in the 13th round. However, electing to go back to Nebraska and finish off what he started in the Cornhusker State. Squares up Jake Mangum in the left-handed batter's box. The righty deals, and Mangum flips it foul down the first base line out of play.
You know, these last few innings, Larison really did his job coming out of the pen, keeping the score down pat, and see if these Hawks can start chipping away at this lead here.
They have about 4 runs separating them and the Braves. The 0-1, low and inside from Alvarado. Set a high bar from Alvarado. New addition to the Bourne Braves roster. This his first appearance on the CCBL season. The 1-1. Low and away, count 2-1. Mangum in the midst of a 2-for-2 day. Stole a base in the third as well. Squares up a 2-1 count. Here it comes. High and outside, ball 3. Alvarado, one of 2 foreign nationals on the Bourne Braves. The 3-1. Ball 4. He puts Jake Mangum on first base to start things off in the bottom of the 6th and brings up Reese Hampton, who uncharacteristically for Reese is 0-for-2 on the day.
Yeah, those were 4 easy looks for Mangum, is really struggling to find the zone here. Let's see what Reese can do here with nobody out and runner on.
Hampton 0-for-2 after following up a 3-for-5 effort last night. It's one of the more steady bats for the Harbor Hawks this season and takes strike 1 inside. Count 0-1, runner on first base. Righty on the mound, Alvarado. Squaring up the left-handed hitting Hampton. Here's the 0-1. Low and away for strike 2.
That's a great pitch there. Really hitting a spot there, low and away.
Exactly. Starting in high and tight, going low and away. Gets Hampton in an early hole.
Mangum really with a conservative lead over there at first.
The 0-2. High and outside. Count now 1-2. You were saying?
He's got a conservative lead over there at first base. Everybody knows he's a stolen base threat. He's already swiped 1 on the day.
It's a good point, but the Harbor Hawks do have to be a little bit conservative out there now, as they've just been unable to advance runners, and the 1-2 is high and tight for ball 2.
Yeah, one of the biggest concerns coming into this game and even during this game has been the double play ball. So Mangum maybe break that up a little bit.
13 double plays the Harbor Hawks have hit into this season. And now the 2-2 from Alvarado. Hit on the ground up the third base side. Backhanded by Triello, who throws onto second, onto first, not in time to get the speedy Reese Hampton. However, snaring the lead runner, there's 1 away here in the bottom of the 6th.
The designated hitter from Central Michigan, number 19, Daniel Robinson.
Yeah, that ball was a little too far down the line, a little too much time for double play there.
Brings up Daniel Robinson, 1-for-2 on the day with a single. He stands in the lefty batter's box, the righty Alvarado. Looks back the runner at first and comes to the set. He deals high and outside. Count 1-0, as I was mentioning. A bit of a foreign national is Alvarado, Puerto Rico, his home country. Although a territory of the U.S., still considered foreign soil to a degree. They have a different baseball team in the World Baseball Classic, and the 1-0 is called strike on the inside corner. Robinson even at 1-1 with 1 away here. Hyannis down 5-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Alvarado was actually in his native Puerto Rico when he found out he was drafted by the Mariners this year. The 1-1. Hit on the ground down to second base. Brown fields it off the one hop, underhands to first for out number 2.
That was a great pick on a charging play by the second baseman, Brown, in time to get the speedy Robinson.
Definitely a lot harder than it looks, especially when you just take the surroundings into effect with very gray sky. Hard to keep track of the baseball right now as Hunter Stovall comes up to the plate.
Yeah, that was one of those balls where you got to decide whether you're going to come in on it or sit back. He made the right decision coming in.
He did, and however, it moves Reese Hampton over to second base where he takes about a 2-step lead off. Brown leaning over to hold him on. Hunter Stovall leans out of away from an inside pitch, and Reese Hampton takes third base as it gets away from Susie behind home plate, bouncing all the way to the backstop, but a nice play from the Yukon catcher, just popping right up and looking back at the runner at third. They call it a wild pitch, and Hunter Stovall stands at the right-hand side with a 1-0 count. Reese Hampton on third base.
The ricochet off the backstop was almost dangerous as it popped up right to the catcher.
Yeah, could have spelled trouble for Reese Hampton. However, now he's leading off third, and the 1-0 is just a bit inside. Count 2-0. Fastball from Alvarado, as that's mainly what we've been seeing from the righty. He's a two-way player out of Nebraska. The 2-0. A strike on the outside corner. 2-1 here. Infield playing straight away. Runner on third base is Hampton. He's the only man on. 2-1. Breaking ball, strike. A little bit of a slider, it looked like, from Alvarado. Breaking away from the right-handed Stovall.
This would be a big run for the Hawks if they could push this across.
It would put them within 3. They're down 5-1 at the moment. The 2-2 to Stovall is swung on wildly and missed for strike 3. Hunter Stovall looking back at Tom Maigier after swinging at that, but no love from the home plate umpire, and there's 3 away here. Now we head into the top of the 7th. Andrew Freejay will get a second try at the plate after having a 2-1 count interrupted by Witherspoon caught stealing to end the 6th. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Stick around. Welcome back for the top of the 7th here at McKeon Park. Chris Lucy joining you in the broadcast booth. 5-1 Bourne. Hyannis the home team. And now a word from Chris Walker and our friends at Curry College.
Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu.
Thanks, Chris. And the first pitch from Larison is sent on the ground down first base. Ryan Olenek with another 3U. He fielded that just up the line, stepped on the bag for out number 1, retiring Andrew Freejay pretty quickly.
Lennox had a lot of work tonight over there at first base. He'll take it. He hasn't made a mistake yet.
No, he has not. The Harbor Hawks will take that as a mistake-riddled outing from M.B. Johnson in his debut. Put them behind the 8 ball 5-1. And now here comes Turner Brown. The righty Larison squares up the lefty. First pitch. Low and away. Count 1-0.
Yeah, MD did not have his best stuff today. He'll look to bounce back next start for sure. They need the pitching, the starting pitching, to be good especially, and it hasn't.
The 1-0. Hit on a line foul down the first base side. Count 1-1, and they need arms, period, as they lost Riley Gillum early on in the year to a Team USA baseball tryout, and Dallas Woolfolk didn't even come out with the team out of Ole Miss because he made the team before the CCBL season began.
That bat broke. It sounded like a broken bat on the foul ball, but Brown initially didn't make any move. He probably felt it and was like, well, I need a new one. He has walked twice, too, today, so he hasn't had to use it that much.
Strange game in which to break a bat, but it's not every day where you have 4 at-bats going into the 7th inning. A couple trips through the lineup has translated to 5 runs for the Braves, who lead 5-1. And Turner Brown puts another one down the line right into the waiting glove of Ryan Olenek, who fields off a hop and steps on first for the 2nd out.
That's 6-3 unassisted in the game for Olenek.
Look alive, kid. And the 2 away, Scott Schreiber steps back up, and he has everybody on the field on edge based off that home run he hit in the top of the 2nd.
Has gone 0 for 2 since then with a strikeout looking in a pop out to second, but again, that 3-run home run is a big difference right now.
3 of the 5 Braves runs, and he swings at a first pitch and just tips it off behind home plate. 0-1 count here on Red Jersey Day. Every Friday in Hyannis is Red Jersey Day. A salute to our troops defending the country abroad. The 0-1. Another one tipped foul behind home. Bouncing off the backstop. Brings the count to 0-2.
We need red shirts for next Friday's game.
We sure do. All the Harbor Hawks interns, myself and my broadcast partner Chris Walker included, wearing the Harbor Hawks blue, but some new red duds would suit me just fine. Here's the 0-2 from Larison. Hit on a line into the gap on the right side and through for a base hit. Hunter Stovall loses his cap as he fields the throw in from Newstrom, and that's a single for Schreiber, who stops up at first base, and with 2 outs, there's a man aboard, and Zach Susi steps up. 2
for 4 for Schreiber today, and he's had himself an excellent day hitting.
Now Zach Susi looks for his 2nd hit of the day. 1 for 2 with a single and a walk.
There is a righty in the bullpen for Hyannis.
The Braves warming somebody up as well. And the first pitch, low and away. Larison, a righty, squaring up Susi, who's in the left-handed batter's box. Runner on first base is Schreiber. It's 5-1 Bourne out here in Hyannis. Top of the 7th inning. The 1-0, high and outside. Fastball missing. Count 2-0.
Chris, this game is kind of the opposite of the way things have been going. The runs were all scored in the beginning of the game, and nothing has been really scored. Well, nothing for Bourne since the third, at least.
No. Now the 2-0 from Larison, but first he throws back. Scott Schreiber slides into first base safely. And to that effect, yeah, early on you don't really expect a lot of runs to be scored because Hyannis has been able to really delay other teams from scoring until later in games. Namely last night in Falmouth, where 7 runs were put on the board in the bottom of the 8th. The 2-0, hit on the ground, up the hole again. Hunter Stovall can't get there. That goes out into right field. Robert Newstrom fields and fires right down to Ford Proctor at second base, holding Zach Susi to a single and keeping Schreiber put up the middle.
Susi 2 for 3 as well today. The bottom of this order has really been good. From 4 to 8, that's where all the hits have come.
They're deadly where it counts, and now Jared Triolo steps up looking for his first hit of the day. 0 for 2 with a walk. He steps up to the right-handed side of the plate with runners on second and first. Larison in a spot of trouble, down 5-1. Pitch, hit up the middle and through for a base hit. That skips out into center field. Schreiber comes around third base, throw in is offline, and it gets all the way to Proctor, who tries to apply a tag, but Schreiber slides in home safely, and it's 6-1 Braves off the single from Jared Triolo.
Just another good piece of hitting. That's 3 in a row after 2 outs. It's a good 2-out rally for this Bourne team, and just add on another run. They may need it.
Don't need it right now necessarily, as it's 6-1, a 5-run gap between these two teams, as now Chris Proctor comes out to the mound to have a word with his right-hander.
Larison started off very, very well, and he's hit some trouble here. Hadn't given up a run until now.
No, and had 2 quick outs to start the inning. 2 down to Ryan Olenek at first base, 3 used to get 2 outs, and then since then, 3 consecutive singles. Schreiber really moving well, however, for a guy his size, getting all the way from second base to home. And here comes Chad Gassman to have a word. He might be taking out Larison, as it looks like Christian Tripp is getting loose in the bullpen.
That would seem to be the move, because that's what it's been all season to this point, so it would make sense. Although he hasn't signaled anything yet, now he does.
Gassman taking the ball from his right-hander, a pat on the back as he sends him to the dugout, and more on the pitching change when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around. It's 6-1 Bourne. We're back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Chris Lucy joined by Chris Walker, and a new face out on the mound. It's Connor Green for the Harbor Hawks, brought in to end the 7th inning here, top of the 7th inning, and Chris will have a little something about Connor.
University of Mississippi, 6'4", 230, the righty. Has had some trouble this year.
The first pitch, a strike on the outside corner. He's dealing with Jameson Hanna, standing on the left side of the plate.
13.50 ERA so far this season in 3 appearances, 3 1/3 innings. He gave up 6 runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts.
He's tasked with ending the top of the 7th. The 0-1. Low and inside. Evens the count at 1-1. Runners on first and second. Already a run across here in the top of the 7th off of an RBI single from Jared Triolo, who stands on first base. The 1-1. Low and inside, count 2-1. The horn from the Hyannis Port Ferry just hooting in right now. Just a little reminder of where we are, despite the weather. It's still Cape Cod. It's overcast and gray. The 2-1. In the dirt, count 3-1.
Matt Alberghini still thinks that's a train. He was featured on our broadcast earlier.
Oh yeah, did a great job. For his debut on the Hyannis media stream. And the 3-1 forthcoming to Hanna. Hyannis down 6-1. The pitch. Low and away, ball 4. Connor Green brought on to get the final out on the top of the 7th. He deals a walk to start things off in his outing.
Well, for Green, that's his 5th walk of the season, and for the Harbor Hawks of this game, they've walked 9.
Well, the 9th walk of the game loads the bases for Richard Palacios, who is 0 for 4. He stands at the left-hand side against the righty Green. Bases loaded, 2 down. First pitch, strike. Fastball from Green over the outside corner, just around the knees. Ryan Olenek playing all the way back, almost on the outfield grass, about a step or 2 away down at first base, the 0-1. In the dirt, and it gets away from Chris Proctor. Coming in to score is Zach Susi. He slides in safely. Doesn't even draw a throw from Proctor, who was just getting the ball as he slid in a cloud of dust, and now it's 7-1 Bourne. Wild pitch credited to Connor Green.
This is just getting really frustrating to watch. And the Harbor Hawks have no answers on offense or pitching.
Not as of now. The 1-1. Strike. A little bit high in sight, but Green gets the call and jumps ahead 2-1 on Palacios. It was a bases loaded situation, but the wild pitch from Green moved both runners over to second and third and plated a run for Bourne as the 1-2 is grounded down to Ryan Olenek, who fields on a hop, touches first for the final out of the inning, and just when you thought things were going to be a little bit easier, Ethan Larison getting 2 quick outs to start things. He gives up a pair of singles, is taken out, and then gives up a trio of singles, is taken out after giving up a run, and 2 come across the plate here in the 7th. It's now 7-1, and we'll be right back after a quick break on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Bourne leads, but stick around. Welcome back into McKeon Park. Chris Lucy joined by Chris Walker here in the broadcast booth. It's 7-1 Bourne over Hyannis at the moment. Luis Alvarado back on for his second inning of work, squaring up Micah Coffey. The righty on the mound, the lefty at the plate. Alvarado sets and fires. Breaking ball way outside, gets behind the catcher. Susie can't get a handle on it. It's 1-0.
Coming into this game, Coffey was hitting .333. He's 0-for-2 so far. Hasn't seen much action, though.
The 1-0. Another fastball. This one, however, missing outside again. Count 2-0. It had been a few days for Coffey. Hadn't seen any action since June 19th. The 2-0. A strike right down the heart of the plate. Brings the count to 2-1.
It stayed warm today, even though it got cloudy. It really didn't get cold, to me at least.
The 2-1. Swing and a miss from Coffey. Count now 2-2. It's a bit overcast, however, still from Hyannis. Gray skies, the lights are on. And the 2-2 is served up the middle and through for a base hit. Micah Coffey breaks the curse, gets on in his third at bat, and brings Ryan Olenek to the plate.
Well, his average is going to still be .333 if this is his last at bat, because that's what he's hitting this year. Olenek 1 for 2. He's got a double and a fly out.
However, was caught stealing to end the second. He stands at the right-handed batter's box. Blue socks pulled up around the mid-calf and takes the first pitch off his hip. He'll wear that one and gingerly walk down first base.
The home plate umpire ran out there as if Olenek was angry at that. I mean, you never like it, but good job by the umpire to get in between the hitter and the pitcher.
Not like Olenek isn't used to getting hit by pitches. As we mentioned, he was hit by 8 during his college season at Ole Miss, and that's his second plunking of the young season.
You know, it's because he crowds the plate. He's got those long arms. He stands in there and invites pitchers.
Now Ford Proctor's up. Runners on first and second. Hyannis with a rally brewing here in the bottom of the 7th. And Proctor standing at the left side takes ball 1 high and tight.
Proctor looking to extend his hit streak to 4 games.
0 for 2 today. The 1-0 from Alvarado. Swing and a miss from Proctor. Taps his back foot a few times as he looks down first base. Count 1-1.
Karen, are you good for piano on Tuesday?
Alvarado sets. Righty deals the 1-1 to the lefty. High and outside. That fastball missing. Count 2-1. Olenek, part of an Ole Miss family. Sisters Kelsey and Jane also went to Ole Miss. Alvarado sets the 3-1. Skied high into a gray sky down the left field side. Free J, however, fields it at shortstop, and there is one away.
Well, Proctor 0 for 3 now, but here comes Newstrom. If Newstrom could hit another home run like he did last at bat, Harbor Hawks going to be right back in this game.
Sure would be. That'd be the second 3-run homer we'd seen today. The first one coming courtesy of Scott Schreiber in the second. That's 3 of 7 runs for the Braves, who have just been piling it on the Harbor Hawks today. 1 down, 2 people on. Coffey and Olenek, and the first pitch to Newstrom is fouled off. Standing in the left-handed batter's box against the righty Alvarado. Count starts 0-1. Alvarado, set, the 0-1. Just misses. Brings the count to 1-1.
Good spot for Alvarado.
He's been spotting up well, able to mix up his locations and keep hitters off balance. However, he hit Olenek and surrendered a leadoff single to Micah Coffey. Those are the two men on, and the 1-1. Swing and a miss. High fastball, just what the doctor ordered. 1-2. One away here in the bottom of the 7th.
The wind is starting to blow more, Chris, from right field to left field.
A couple of pitchers warming up in the Braves bullpen as well down the right field line, and the 1-2 just misses. Changeup over the outside, but just a little bit low. 2-2 count.
Almost looked like it broke across the strike zone, across home plate, but no call. That has been the call all night. There hasn't been an outside corner call really this entire game.
Tom Magier, the home plate umpire, with a tight strike zone. And the 2-2 is way outside, no doubt about that one. Fastball, count 3-2. So Newstrom working the count. 1 for 2 on the day with a home run in the 5th. Trying to get the Harbor Hawks back in this game. It's 7-1 Bourne. Pitch. Swing and a miss. High cheese. And just like that, there's 2 away.
It's tough out after getting the first 2 on. The next 2 make outs, and now Proctor has a chance. But again, it's been a problem with this team all year. It's been getting guys on and then scoring runs with guys on base, getting hits with runners in scoring position. It's such a key stat, and it's just not going well for the Harbor Hawks to this point at all. Seems anytime they get one on in scoring position, they ground into a double play.
13 of those so far on the season, and Chris Proctor at the left-hand side takes ball 1 high and outside from the righty. Still 2 on, however, now 2 outs after both of those guys reached with nobody out. Ford Proctor flew out to short, and Robert Newsom just struck out swinging for the 2nd time today. And Proctor sends the 1-0 foul behind home, evening the count at 1-1. The gray sky and the wind would suggest rain is coming, however, only 20% chance of it. Blowing the flag out in right center field like crazy.
Harbor Hawks wouldn't have minded the rain to come in the 3rd inning.
1-1. Swing and a miss. And you're right. Well, you could almost argue the rain did come in the 3rd inning as a triple was hit, and in the inning before that, a home run. Bourne has been raining down on the Harbor Hawks all day.
At least the game would have counted if it got rained out.
That's true. Now the 1-2 from Alvarado. Swing and a miss. Breaking pitch, just getting away from the bat of Proctor. He gets down to 0-3 on the day, and just like that, the Harbor Hawks strand 2 runners on base, reaching with a single and a hit by pitch. Now on to the 8th inning. We'll be right back with that when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Hyannis down 7-1. Stick around. We're back here from McKeon Park. Hyannis on top, 7-1 down, I should say, 7-1. Bourne on top. Lyle Lynn at the right-hand side of the plate takes a first pitch ball low and away from Connor Green, tasked with getting the last out of the 7th. He's back for the 8th.
This will be good if Green can get through this inning spotless, for his confidence at least.
That's true. He deals the first strike of the at-bat on a nice little breaking offering. Brings the count to 1-1. Looked like a curveball. Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss from Lynn. Brings the count to 1-2. Lynn 0 for 4 so far on the day. Bourne's been able to cycle through their lineup several times. Lynn getting his 5th at bat in the 8th. And the 1-2. Hot swings and sends the ball high in the air down right center field. Robert Newstrom ranges over and makes the play for the first out of the inning. Check that up for 0 for 5 for Lyle Lynn.
The right fielder from Tulane, number 22, Grant Witherspoon.
So here's Grant Witherspoon. 2 for 3 today with a walk, a triple, and a single.
Pretty good day there. And a run scored.
It's not over yet for him. He stands at the left-handed batter's box against the righty Green, who fires a first pitch outside for ball 1. One down here in the top of the 8th. Hyannis down 7-1. And the 1-0 is sent up high in the air behind home plate. Chris Proctor throws off the mask and chases it to the wall, but it gets away from him and is out of play behind the netting at home plate.
The kids are stingy. They didn't want to give me the ball.
Oh no. Daring kids running over into the scout section.
I have no fear. They just run over there.
Hey, it's their time of year, summertime. Now the 1-1. Another one flipped foul behind home plate. Count now 1-2.
I feel like we're given an unfair edge in here with the roof because the foul ball, there's no way a foul ball is coming in here.
No, sir. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Grant Witherspoon goes down swinging for the second out of the inning, and Connor Green making quick work of the Braves. And here comes Andrew Freejay. The shortstop, 1 for 2 on the day with a single and a pair of walks.
Couple of runs scored. He's had a good day. Everybody's had a pretty good day except for the top third of this order.
In the first pitch to Freejay, standing in the right-handed batter's box, is outside. Count 1-0.
In fact, everybody's been on base except the top of the order.
Is that right?
Everybody's had a hit, excuse me, except for Brown, and Brown has scored. He has no hits, and the top of the order has no hits. Everybody else has at least one hit.
The 1-0 comes in just a little bit outside for ball 2. Count 2-0. And now Green sets and deals. Low and away. Scoreboard was lagging a little bit behind. They called the 1-0 a strike, however. Now it's 2-1. Green to the set. Here's the 2-1. Hit on the ground. One hops Hunter Stovall, who fires down to Olenek at first for the final out of the inning. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 go the Braves in the top half of the 8th. And the bottom of the 8th brings the top half of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks order. Jake Mangum, Reese Hampton, and Daniel Robinson due up when we return. Hyannis down 7-1 here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Please stick around. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucy and Chris Walker doing our best to laugh our way through what's been a laugher down at McKeon Park. 7-1 Bourne as a new pitcher comes on, and one of our fellow interns has brought a wiffle bat into the broadcast booth. It's Zach Mort, Chris.
He has a wiffle ball. No, I'm just kidding. Zach Mort from George Mason University. He's 0-1 this year with a 9 ERA. He'll be looking to lower that 2 innings. He's got 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts.
And he deals a first pitch ball to Jake Mangum, who squared around for a bunt from the left-handed batter's box.
Let me try that one more time. 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts.
There you go. Here's the 1-0. Low and inside, count 2-0 on Mangum. 2 for 2 today with a walk, pair of singles.
Well, Chris, as we saw last night, there is fight in this team. They could string together a couple of runs.
And the 2-0 is in the dirt. Mangum again squaring around for a bunt.
And, you know, the game isn't over. You string together a couple here. You got the top of your order up. It's a good time to get something going. They could pull back in this. It doesn't seem likely, but they can.
Mangum takes a strike on the 3-0. Count now 3-1, and you're right. Hyannis just really has to try and draw all the positives they can from this ball game.
And we've been saying that all too much the past few days. Try to find positives in losses.
Unlikely they'll snap the 2-game skid they're on right now as the 3-1 rides in low for ball 4. Mangum on with his second walk of the day.
Well, he stays perfect, 2 for 2 with 2 walks. Be great if he could score somehow. Oh, the ball just hit Hampton. They threw it in, and it hit him on his right arm.
Hampton just trying to get into the left-handed batter's box. However, he got in the way of a little exchange between Susie and the righty. Zach Moore just wanted a new baseball, and Reese Hampton had to wear one. He steps out to the lefty batter's box with a runner on first base, and Hyannis in a 6-run hole. Bourne on top 7-1. Here's the pitch. High and outside. Count 1-0. Hampton 3 for 5 last night. 0 for 3 tonight. Here's the 1-0. Runner goes. It's Mangum. And Susie fakes a throw down to first base, but eats it.
Good play by Mangum. We know he's got speed. He beat out a ground ball in the first to get a leadoff single in the infield, and you got to get in scoring position. Now nobody out, a runner in scoring position. This is big.
That's huge, and that's Mangum's second stolen base of the day. Watch that on base percentage start shooting through the roof, as he's already in the midst of a hot streak. The 2-0 to Hampton. Hit on the ground up the middle. It's blocked by the pitcher, and Mort cannot, however, get enough of a handle on it to make a throw down to first, and that's an infield hit for Hampton and puts Mangum on third base. Runners on the corners, nobody down, and Daniel Robinson coming to the plate.
That should be scored a hit because it was just a good play. I think the pitcher would have been better off to have let the ball go, personally, because the shortstop, Free J, was right there.
Just a fast twitch reflex from Mort, and it costs him a single. And Daniel Robinson now in the left-handed batter's box. He has a hit on the day, 1 for 3. In the first pitch, a big swing and a miss from Robinson. He tipped it, but into the glove of Susie. A 1 count.
This is a big spot in this game, Chris. No one out, runners on the corners. Robinson has gotten some hits at big times this season. This is a good time for another.
Here's the 0-1. Another strike. That one low and away. Count now 0-2.
You hear some of the groans from fans that didn't like that call.
No. It's been a tight strike zone from home plate umpire Tom Magier on the day, but
opened up that time.
Yeah. Now 0-2 on Robinson. Runner goes. That's Hampton. He slides into second base, but Robinson just checked his swing and fouled it down third. Count remains 0-2, and Hampton, with a new stain on his jersey, has to trot back to first. His counterpart Mangum waiting on third. Lights are completely on, and the sun is completely gone from Judy Scarafile Field here at McKeon Park. Bottom of the 8th, Hyannis with a rally. Runners on the corners and nobody out. Here's the 0-2 to Robinson. Sent high in the air to right field. Witherspoon's under it. He makes the play. Jake Mangum tags up from third base. He'll score easily, and Reese Hampton stays put on first.
Well, give him a sac fly, and he does his part. Only one out, still a man on base, and now a 5-run game. Still a big lead, but a step in the right direction.
Hyannis will take anything they can get at this point, and Hunter Stovall would certainly take his first hit of the season now if it comes. 0 for 3 on the day, and an 0 for in his CCBL debut last night as well.
0 for 10 to start his CCBL season.
He stands on the right-hand side of the plate. The righty Mort, however, throwing back to first base to check up on Reese Hampton.
A lot of these guys that come from big schools are having tough starts for this team. See it with DiCaprio. We saw it with Proctor.
And the first pitch to Stovall is outside.
And now with Stovall, and can't get these guys with big numbers in school hits.
Still early on in the season, and Stovall just recently coming up. Reese Hampton goes, and Stovall hits the ball on the ground down third base. Jared Triolo fields on a hop, and they call it foul. Tom Agier making the call down the third base line.
Oh, he made the play. He named the play. That looked like it was right over third base.
Chad Gassman down the third base line. Didn't look enthused with how it was either. But that's where it is. 1-1 count on Stovall. Runner on first base is Hampton. Hyannis down 5 runs. The pitch. Stovall scores around for a bunt, and it's a beauty down the third base line. Susie comes out from behind home plate, but eats it. Has no play at first or second. Everybody's safe. It's an infield hit for Hunter Stovall. Call it a safety squeeze, and just like that, with 1 out, there are 2 men aboard, and here comes Micah Coffey.
You know what really amazes me is how it takes a team until the 8th inning for this to happen. I mean, they have guys on base now. They're getting good hits. They're making good plays, playing a little small ball, and it's the 8th inning down 6, and they get 1. This happens in the 1st or 2nd inning, and it's a completely different game.
That's true, but better late than never for the Harbor Hawks with runners on first and second. Micah Coffey at the left-hand side of the dish against the righty. Morton kicks and deals, and Coffey serves it out into right center field for a base hit. This brings home Hampton to score. Stovall rounding third base now. He'll score. And that is an RBI double from Micah Coffey. And there you have it, Chris. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks screech comes over the loudspeakers here at McKeon Park. And now it is 7-4.
I'll tell you what, that's a great piece of hitting and a big 2-run double. That's impressive. Now it's a game again. Only a 3-run game, 7-4. You got to like it. Coffey with another big hit. Keep him in the lineup.
Seriously, it had been a while since his last appearance for the Harbor Hawks, and now here comes Ryan Olenek. 1 for 2 on the day. Was hit by a pitch in the 7th and had a double in the second inning, but was thrown out trying to steal third. Susie comes out from behind home to have a word with Mort. Home plate umpire Tom Agier joins them, but now both retreat back behind home, and out comes a manager for the Bourne Braves. Looks like this might be all for Mort. It's a slow trot out to the mound. Hyannis in the midst of a big rally. They scored 3 runs in this inning to cut the deficit to 7-4.
Well, coach is definitely wasting some time when the home plate umpire comes out. They are warming up a lefty, and that's it.
Close the book on Mort's evening. He lets in 3 runs and lets Hyannis back into the game. It's 7-4 Braves down here on Judy Scarafile Field at McKeon Park. We'll be right back with a few details about the new man in the game for Bourne when we return on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Zach Morton let in 3 runs. Hyannis back in this game in the bottom of the 8th, 7-4, and PJ Poulin on to close things out for the Braves here in the 8th.
Local Connecticut boy, Marion. He went to UConn. Goes to UConn, excuse me.
Squares up Ryan Olenek in the right-handed batter's box. The lefty deals a first pitch strike.
Poulin has 2.1 innings pitched this year. He didn't allow a run, allowed 1 hit, walked 1, struck out 3.
The runner on second base, Micah Coffey, not his problem. Not his responsibility, but his problem, I suppose. Coffey out there with a 2 RBI double that pulled Hyannis within 3 runs. It's 7-4, and Ryan Olenek takes ball 1. Breaking pitch, missing outside and low.
3 hits this inning for the Harbor Hawks. Good sign.
Most hits they've had since the first, where they were able to scratch together 2. And Olenek skies one out into right center field and through for a base hit. Micah Coffey comes all the way around from second base to score, and Hyannis is within 2, and the throw gets away from Free J at second base, and Ryan Olenek takes advantage, sliding in safely, extending that single to put himself on second base, and Hyannis within 2 now, 7-5.
What an inning, 4 runs, only 1 out still. This is the tying run already. Ford Proctor, no hits today. Has a 3-game hit streak going though. Would be good to see him extend that and drive in another run or 2. He has a home run already this year.
And we noticed earlier in this game he had his socks rolled up, and in keeping with superstition, he's now rolled them back down as he had them down during that hit streak.
Nope, that's exactly what you have to do. Watch, he's going to get a hit now.
It would suit the Harbor Hawks well, down 2 runs, but rallying in the bottom of the 8th inning. Pitch from Poulin pours over the inside corner for a strike. 0-1 count on Proctor, standing in the left-handed batter's box. Lefty at the plate. Here's the 0-1. Strike 2 called on the outside corner. Looked a little bit low, but Dom Magier giving that one to the lefty Poulin. He's looking back the runner at second base now.
That was the first pitch on the outside corner that I've seen called all game.
You picked a heck of a time to start
I
giving
know.
that outside corner. 0-2 count now on Proctor, who takes a bouncer. Ryan Olenek stutter steps between second and third and takes third base, drawing no throw from Susi, who struggled to find the ball. And Chris, the 6th run of the game for the Harbor Hawks stands 90 feet away after the pass ball is called.
You know, this is huge. This is a big inning. This is the inning that this team needed. They've struggled all game, the past few games, to have that big inning, and here it is. Can they finish? Only one out.
For Proctor, however, in a 1-2 hole. The pitch. Just missing on the inside. A little bit low. Evens the count at 2-2. Runner on third base is Olenek. He got there on a passed ball.
Proctor sold that pitch well, kind of taking a step out of the box.
And now here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. That's strike 3. Proctor down swinging. Bring him to 0 for 4 on the day. And now Robert Newstrom is the last hope to keep the rally alive here in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, he's due. He had a strikeout, home run, then a strikeout, so he's due for a home run now.
4 runs on 4 hits in this inning. 4 runs on 5 hits. Hyannis pulling within 2 runs. It's 7-5 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Newstrom stands at the left-handed batter's box. Poulin sets. The lefty deals. Low and away. Count 1-0.
Chris, this all started with a leadoff walk. Imagine that.
They say that's all it takes. Jake Mangum reaching with a walk in the beginning of the bottom of the 8th. Stole a base, and a little bit between then and now, it's 7-5. Robert Newstrom takes low and away in the dirt. Count 2-0 now.
Bounced about 2 feet in front of home plate. Good block, though, by Susi.
Making up for the pass ball that advanced Olenek over to third base. So Newstrom's 1 for 3 on the day, but that home run in the 5th looms large, and a repeat of that would tie this game up.
Oh, that would be a fun call for you.
Pretty sure everyone in this booth would appreciate it, as the entire intern team has come on. And the 2-0. A called strike over the outside corner. Brings the count to 2-1.
All it needs a base hit. Get one more run in, make it a 1-run game. 1 run's better than 6 down.
And the Harbor Hawks have charged all the way back from then to get here. 7-5, bottom of the 8th. The 2-1. Fisted foul into the Braves dugout down the first base line.
That was the pitch. That was a hanging breaking ball. Newstrom got a little bit ahead of that pitch.
Newstrom knew it too. He stepped out, took an extra swing or two, just to try and hope that the next one comes in a somewhat similar fashion. Poulin sets. Lefty-lefty matchup. The pitch. Fisted foul off of a post down the third base line. Bounces back into the field of play. Count remains 2-2. It's been a big inning for the Harbor Hawks. They've been able to plate 4 runs and come all the way back from 7-1 down to only 7-5 down. Newstrom, 2-2 count. The pitch. Just a bit outside. Count 3-2. Barely missing on the fastball was Poulin.
That's the same call they've been getting all night. No need to change it now.
No, sir. And now Newstrom awaits the payoff pitch. Runner on third base. 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th. And Newstrom fouls it off his foot. Dribbling towards the bat on deck circle for the Braves.
That's a good job to stay alive by Newstrom. He knows. He knows how bad they need it. It's a tough pitch, too, to stay on.
Harbor Hawks do need it bad. Rallying here in the bottom of the 8th. They've cut a 7-5 deficit all the way from 7-1. And now Newstrom singles out into center field and brings the Harbor Hawks within 1 run. It's 7-6 Bourne, but the Harbor Hawks still threatening with a man on first base in Newstrom and Chris Proctor coming to the plate.
Oh, Lennox is talking to Proctor, or was talking to Proctor, about how this pitcher, how he's dealing in this game, and everybody's hitting off of everybody in this inning. 5-run inning. How about that? We saw a 7-run inning last night against the Harbor Hawks, and we could see that this inning. 9th batter already to bat in this inning for Proctor.
5 runs on 5 hits. Now Proctor at the left-handed batter's box. The lefty from Yukon on the mound. Sets. He deals. A strike inside at the knees. Count 0-1. Wind just picking up a little bit more now. Still coming from right to left. Blustering the trees in the outfield. Poulin sets. The 0-1. Way outside. Evens the count at 1.
Proctor looking for his first hit tonight.
He's 0 for 3 on the day, and who knows what anything out of the infield could do, as the pressure really mounting at McKeon Park. Newstrom would take off flying from first base. He's already got a 2-step lead. Lyle Lynn holding him on, and a big swinging strike from Proctor brings the Harbor Hawks 1 strike away from losing the fire here in an 8th inning rally that's seen 5 runs come across to score, and a 7-1 Braves lead evaporate into only a 7-6 edge.
Well, they've made it fun. It's not a laugher anymore.
The 1-2. Cut on and missed. Chris Proctor strikes out swinging to end the bottom of the 8th for the Harbor Hawks, but Hyannis bats around and cuts that 7-1 deficit to only 7-6 heading into the 9th. Turner Brown, Scott Schreiber, and Zach Susi due up for the Braves when we come back. It's 7-6 Hyannis, 7-6 Bourne on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. If you missed the bottom of the 8th, boy, you missed just about everything, as the Harbor Hawks were able to claw their way back from a 7-1 deficit to come all the way back to 7-6. And now, to start off the ninth, Ricky Constant comes on to relieve Connor Green.
UMass Lowell, 6'5", 190, 6.0 ERA in 3 innings. He gave up 3 hits and 2 runs, walked 5, struck out 2.
Now the big lefty squares up Turner Brown, who takes low and away for ball 1.
Now batting for Bourne, number 16, Jay Alou.
And we actually have a pinch hitter at the plate. It's number 16, Jake Alou. He takes ball 2 low and away.
Alou hitting .250 this year, goes to Boston College, somewhere very near and dear to your heart.
My brother just graduated from there. And Alou was 2017 All-New England 3rd team for the Eagles as Chris Proctor comes out from behind home plate to have a word with his big lefty. Have to tread lightly around Alou as he batted .331 to lead the Eagles in his college season. Constant to the set. The 2-0. A strike fastball with a good little bit of left to right movement.
Chris, I'll tell you what, I like it when all the interns are in here. They're a fun group. It's
sure
a fun
are.
group.
And it's been a fun game as well. Hyannis rallying in the 8th to cut a 7-1 deficit all the way back to 7-6. As Constant throws ball 3 in on the hands of the pinch hitter.
Constant has had trouble finding the zone this season with the 5 walks and just a couple of innings pitched.
Yeah, the 3-1. In the dirt, ball 4. Alou is on with a free pass.
I have to do this. You know, he's constantly having trouble finding the zone.
And there you go. Well, you're not totally wrong, as he threw a couple pitches behind batters standing in the right-handed batter's box early on this season, and that brings out Chad Gassman, who has seen just about enough. Alou reaches base, and that'll be all for Ricky Constant. More on the pitching change when we get back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around. Welcome back here at McKeon Park. Chris Lucy joined by my broadcast partner, Chris Walker. And there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. Ricky Constant brought on to get an out, and he walked Alu and now brings in Nick Sandlin.
Well, Chris, Sandlin had a great year going until a great first couple of appearances going until yesterday, or the last time, out. He's 0-1 now. He got the loss in his last appearance, 135 ERA in 6 2/3 innings. Still some good numbers. 7 strikeouts in just 6 2/3 innings, only 1 walk. So those are numbers that the interns in here, ourselves, and the fans are going to like, because there's been a lot of walks. There have been 10 walks given out to these Bourne hitters tonight.
And the sidewinder Sandlin throws back down to first base, keeping Jake Alu honest. And he faces up against Scott Schreiber. Schreiber standing in the right-handed batter's box, already with a home run on the day.
They can't get it right between Proctor and Sandlin yet.
Nope, the two just taking their time, trying to get on the same page, and they need to be, as Hyannis just trying to keep the ball rolling after a big bottom of the 8th. Saw them storm back from a 7-1 deficit and draw themselves within 1 run. It's 7-6, and Sandlin throws a first pitch strike to get his evening started.
Good thing to see out of a pitcher from this team is a first pitch strike.
Haven't seen too many of those on the day. Just a never-ending parade of walks as Sandlin throws back to first base. Walks really the name of the game, as there were more than 7 walks already given out by Hyannis pitchers before the 3rd inning was done. Now Sandlin comes to the set. Looks down the 2-time Big Ten all-conference player who skies one high out into center field. And coming on to make the play in left center is Hampton for the first out of the inning. 1 away here in the top of the 9th.
Good to see from Sandlin. He gets a weak fly ball out to shallow left center, and he gets the guy that hit the home run, so you got to be careful with him. But good start. Sorry, Chris.
Sandlin treads lightly, and that brings up Zach Susi, the catcher out of UConn. 2 for 3 on the day with a pair of singles and a walk. An RBI walk, as in the 3rd inning, a run was walked in. Susi steps out of the left-handed batter's box, taking his time. Runner on first base is Alu. Reached with a leadoff walk. Hyannis, however, still trailing 7-6 here in the top of the 9th. Waiting for their last licks. Sandlin coming to the set. The lefty sidewinder deals low and away. Count 1-0.
Chris, you know who I feel bad for? I feel bad for our good friend Matt Alberghini. He had his game story pretty much written, and then the game completely changed on him.
C'est la vie down here. I think just about everybody else is happy the game took a turn. And the 1-0 is a called strike, high and outside. 1-1 count. Top of the 9th, 1 man down, 1-1 count. Sandlin comes to the set. Throws back to first base. Almost catches Alu, who just barely swims back in. Around the tag of Olenek.
It's just, he's always had that good move this season, and runner's got to be careful.
It looks like he's moving towards the plate when he throws back to first, just because that sidewinding motion, and the 1-1 motion to the plate is low and outside. Count 2-1. Sandlin did pitch last night. Gave up a home run. However, he gets a quick out to start things off here for himself in the top of the 9th. Runner on first, not his responsibility. And he steps off and calls time.
Chris, we didn't think so, but this is a big juncture in this game with Hyannis only down by 1 run. They need to get out of this inning and get to work again.
They do. It'll be last licks for the Harbor Hawks and the 2-1. Low and away again. Count 3-1. Sandlin starting to miss just a little bit outside almost every time now. Has to make sure he's not holding on to the ball too long or long enough, I should say. And he fires wildly back down to first
boy.
base, where Ryan Olenek just barely keeps it from getting away from himself down at the first base bag.
Oh, yeah, that's the last thing you want is a runner to advance on a wild throw. Especially at this point, you don't need that. Make it as simple as possible and easy as possible on yourself.
Sandlin to the set. The 3-1. Called strike over the heart of the plate. Get me over fastball for the lefty sidewinder, and he loads up the count. 3-2. Zach Susi back in the batter's box. And now the payoff pitch coming from Sandlin. Runner goes. Ball is cut on and lifted high in the air into left field. Reese Hampton ranges over into left center and gloves it for the second out of the inning. 2 away as Alou has to retreat back to first base. He went far off on the hit and run, but just a little bit under it was Susi.
So I wonder what the point of bringing Constant into this game was, because he only was allowed to go one batter. They must have known going into it that they were only going to go batter to batter with him.
That's true, and a guy like Constant has a lot of upside.
Absolutely. He's got the great 12-6 curveball. Now there's a pinch hitter. It's Grant Williams, Kennesaw State.
Takes the first pitch, strike over the outside corner. Williams, a first-team all-conference in the A-Sun, was also the Defensive Player of the Year. No slouch at the plate either, batting .305 for Kennesaw State.
And just about 300 so far this season for Bourne. Very consistent.
Sandlin throws back down to first base, keeps Alou on. Alou stands there because of a leadoff walk. However, that was given up by Ricky Constant, and since Sandlin's come into the game in relief of Constant, he's gotten 2 F7s. Now he squares up the lefty in the batter's box and deals an 0-1 strike, 0-2, and now the Harbor Hawks are 1 strike away from getting back to the offensive side of things and trying to cut away at the 7-6 Bourne lead that they almost completely erased in the bottom half of the 8th.
And Chris, they get to start over from the top of the order just like last inning.
Big pitch coming from Sandlin. Here it is. It's inside and it gets away from Proctor, bouncing off the backstop. However, he barely has to do anything to glove that one again, rolling all the way back to him, but it advances Alou to second base. So there's a runner in scoring position.
Pass ball is what they call it.
Second one of the game. Proctor just trying his best to be on the same page with these pitchers, but it's hard getting to know a whole staff in only 10 games.
Right, and especially if you haven't played all 10 of those games.
Exactly. Proctor coming off of back-to-back days off. Here's the 1-2 from Sandlin. And they call it ball 2 off of one that apparently everyone else in McKeon Park thought was a strike.
Well, I don't know where it missed, Chris. I don't know where it could have missed. It looked like it caught a lot of the plate.
Guess just a little bit too high over the outside corner, and now Sandlin has to rebound for the 2-2. Batter calls time. Williams stepping out.
This is where it's real tough on a pitcher. You know, you thought you had strike 3, now you got to do it all over again.
Now Sandlin to the set. Looks back to runner at second. Deals. Called strike 3, a breaking pitch. Just moving a ton, but catching home plate. And just like that, the Harbor Hawks are out of the woods. And now they head into last licks. Will the Harbor Hawks be able to recapture the magic from the bottom of the 8th and walk off on McKeon Park? We'll find out when we get back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around. Hyannis only down 7-6 going into the bottom of the 9th. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Last licks in what has been a thriller from Judy Scarafile Field here at McKeon Park. Hyannis started the bottom of the 8th down 7-1 and charged all the way back, pulling this one to within 1 run. It's 7-6 Bourne with a new pitcher on the mound. It's Ryan Feltner, Chris, who has been a dominating stopper for the Braves so far this season.
No, he certainly has. He has 2 saves already, no ERA, 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. Also, Chris, some changes. Alou goes to 3rd, and Williams will go to 2nd.
Ryan Feltner on the mound, dealing with a few defensive replacements as well. And here comes the top of the Hyannis order. Jake Mangum standing at the left-handed batter's box. Takes ball 1.
It's a close pitch again. This strike zone is starting to get a little weird.
The 1-0 from the righty. Mangum squares around for a bunt. Strike 1. That one just catching the zone. Alou standing on the lip of the infield grass down at third base, charging in on every pitch. 7-6. Bourne leads. That lead, however, hanging in the balance as momentum is on the side of the Harbor Hawks. And the 1-1 is cut on and missed. Gets away from Susie behind home. Count 1-2 on Mangum.
What a pitch. Just a good breaking ball. And we mentioned Feltner hasn't pitched in 3 days, so he's well rested.
Very much so. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Jumpy swing from Jake Mangum, and he goes down swinging to start off the bottom of the 9th. Hyannis trying to just jump ahead or at least tie the game here in the bottom of the 9th, down only 7-6 after charging back from 7-1 in the bottom of the 8th.
That would make things interesting, wouldn't it, if we had to go on a new page in our books?
Reese Hampton looking to make things interesting now from the left-handed batter's box. Sends the first pitch foul down the left field line.
Well, there are still kids here, and they jump on the ball. It's summer break, so they got no bedtimes.
Exactly. Only 9:12. Been a long game, about 3 hours or so. Thanks for sticking with us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. It's been a thriller as Reese Hampton swings and misses at the 0-1, down 0-2. Hampton contributing to the bottom of the 8th rally with a single, his first of the game, 1 for 4 on the day. He stands in just as big a spot, if not bigger. The 0-2, clipped foul. That one rattling off of a pole behind home plate. 0-2 count. Reese Hampton choking up on the bat, taking a few practice swings. Now back down at the knob as he stands in the left-handed batter's box. Nobody on, 1 down, 0-2 count. The pitch, swing and a miss. Reese Hampton down swinging for the 2nd out of the bottom of the 9th. And just like that, Hyannis' rally hangs in the balance, namely on the bat of Daniel Robinson.
1 for 3 with a sac fly and a single back in the first. He's the last chance. They need him to do something.
He steps up with nobody on and 2 down. 7-6 Braves lead. The first pitch. Strike 1, called low and outside. Robinson starting from behind. Robinson 1 for 2 on the day, had a sac fly that scored a run in the bottom of the 8th. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a miss. And just like that, a thrilling game here from McKeon Park. It's a strike away from being over. A 5-run rally in the bottom of the 8th, pulling the Harbor Hawks to within 1 run here. But it is a strike away from ending in disappointment for the Harbor Hawks. And the 0-2 is fouled off down the third base line.
That's a gritty swing right there. Gutsy effort and way to stay alive for Robinson. reaching out and poking it.
That outside corner's been given all day. Now here's the 0-2. Just a bit outside and high. Count 1 and 2. A riveting game here at McKeon Park. Hyannis only down by 1 run in the bottom of the 9th. And it's a called strike 3 on the inside corner that ends the game. Ryan Feltner gets the save for the Braves, who almost surrender a 7-1 lead. They're able to hold on and close out the Harbor Hawks at McKeon Park 7-6, and is just a tale of what could have been for the Harbor Hawks, Chris.
What a way to end on a pitch that looked inside, too. But at the end of the day, 3 strikeouts end the game. Feltner came in and did his job, but I'll tell you what, the effort by the Harbor Hawks when they were down and out was pretty incredible to watch, and that's a great sign going ahead. And they get to play Bourne all over again tomorrow, so revenge is in the cards, I think.
We'll see a 5-run 8th inning wasted in a 7-6 loss for Hyannis. We'll have some more closing thoughts when we get back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Stick around. Welcome back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. It was a thrilling finish here at McKeon Park, but as my broadcast partner Chris Walker can attest to, it was a bit anticlimactic for the Harbor Hawks as they charge all the way back from a 7-1 deficit to get it to 7-6 in the bottom of the 8th, but just go down in order 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 9th. 3 strikeouts. I'm Chris Lucy, and Chris, just not enough left in the tank for the Harbor Hawks down the stretch.
I'm going to say one thing about this, and I could say 17 reasons why this game ended the way it did, but the big one is because the Harbor Hawks couldn't score earlier in the game again. They didn't score until the 5th. They only had 1 run up until the bottom of the 8th. Great job by the team to string together hits and a 5-hit inning in the 8th. Played in 9 batters, and they scored 5 runs. You see what happens when you hit the ball, and see what happens when you get on base and get hits with men on base. It all of a sudden turns around. But if it takes you until the 8th inning and you're already down 7-1, 5 runs doesn't matter because they still lose by 1. Great job, but you got to score earlier in the game. Again, it's the same thing every game.
5 runs, again, significant in this game is that's the total that MD Johnson gave up in his debut for the Harbor Hawks. He pitched 3 2/3 of an inning and just 5 earned runs, far too much for the Harbor Hawks to claw themselves back from.
Again, Chris, you know, it's the whole thing that's been happening lately. Since our mini win streak of 2 games to pull us to 500, when we got to 3-3, yesterday it happened again. We didn't score. We gave up a few runs early. We tied it, but then we gave up the beginning. The pitching has been there all season, and in the last few games, the starting pitching hasn't given us length. It didn't last night. It didn't tonight at all. Mervis last night didn't last past the 3rd inning. And obviously we know with Johnson, he had a real rough game, didn't make it past the 4th. And then the team finally comes alive late, but it's too late because they give up the big inning or 2 or 3. And it's just really frustrating to lose a game like this. There were a lot of good signs, though.
There were a lot of good signs, mainly that of Jake Mangum stealing 2 bases, having a pair of singles and a pair of walks.
Yes, he had a great day. He had an almost perfect day, 2 for 3. But Robert Newstrom had a great game, too, quietly again. Everybody forgets about him down in the 8th spot. He had a home run and a single. Did have 2 strikeouts, but he raises his average. He hit 500 tonight. I mean, this guy has been so consistent. I think he deserves some more playing time. And then Olenek with 2 hits as well. He was 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Scored a run as well, hit by a pitch. A lot of positives hitting-wise. I mean, the team had over 10 hits tonight. But, again, it just comes down to a little bit. It's too little, too late. And I'm really getting tired of saying there was a lot of positives you could take. Because usually when you say that, the team loses. And I'd like to say that and have us come back from behind and win or lead all game and win. But there were a lot of good things, I have to say. Nick Sandlin, as you mentioned off air, had a great performance tonight. He came in after giving up a home run last night and had a clean bottom of the 8th inning after Ricky Constant walked the first batter. So there was a lot of good.
Gritty performance for Sandlin, and also a gritty performance for Reese Hampton, coming back from 0 for 3 to get a base knock in the 8th.
Yep.
That helped key on that big rally.
And I wanted to mention before we go that after it was 5-0, Hyannis did outscore Bourne 6-2. And from the 5th inning on, it was 6-2 Hyannis. Again, it's a 9-inning game. That's why it's 7-6. But the second half of this game was certainly we were the better team.
It's a tale of 2 halves, however. The front half for the Braves, too much for the Harbor Hawks to come back from. They drop one down here at McKeon Park, 7-6 in a thriller. But, as you said, revenge possibly in the air for the Harbor Hawks as they head out to Bourne tomorrow for a 6 o'clock first pitch. Catch us here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Signing off from my broadcast partner, Chris Walker. I'm Chris Lucy. Thanks for joining us for a long one, over almost 3.5 hours. We'll be back tomorrow, so we'll see you then.